morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy December 21st, 2020. 3 days and a wake up, ladies and gentlemen, until NBA Christmas. I cannot wait. Hopefully, you are doing well. We got a lot of bad weather coming, a lot of people out there on the roads. Make sure you drive safe, pay attention, and remember slow means good, snow means slick. Go slow in snow. For your little tongue twister this morning. Shout out to me. That's right. Merch drop today, ladies and gentlemen. We are live over here on Shopify via Printify. Head over there to the Hoop Spaces merch store. Pick up a copy of first edition hoodies, T-shirts, plushies, whichever. You know, we're here for you. We're here for the culture, and we're here for basketball. Lots to get into. Missed yesterday's show, and you know it was an all day ordeal. Plumbers came, money was spent. We will still have Christmas, but it'll definitely be a little bit different. Do me the favor, like and retweet the show card, ladies and gentlemen, and also the hoodie because it is hoodie season. Make sure you go get yours today, and make sure you buy a second one. Send it over to DeAndre Ayton because he's about to get the cold shoulder out there in Phoenix. All right, I'll be back in 30. Everybody, good morning. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, December 21st. Thank you for making any part of your day part of Hoop Spaces. Shout out to all of you who are able to make it. More people, of course, will be filtering in. Lots to get caught up on as we missed yesterday's show. More news and notes from the back end here. Determination from the NBA came in, and I tell you, I made it all the way until the 20th of December. But unfortunately, my luck in the NBA Launchpad program has expired. I got the email this morning. It was close. It was good. But unfortunately, like they don't have a specific set of what we do here on Spaces in terms of social drop in audio. And so our application for the Launchpad program was denied. However, on the second paragraph, they are going to reach out for future collaborations. So that's always good news. So I'm going to give myself a round of applause. Shout out to Justin Patton, ladies and gentlemen, our YouTube coordinator, hit 10,000 follows on YouTube. He has been working diligently in terms of helping us get different types of voices out here on YouTube. He already has Sundays Are for Basketball. One day, hopefully, we'll be able to get some more people. So if you have interest in creating content or you're already creating content and you want to add something to what you're already doing, we are already here and ready for you. Also, coming in the beginning of the year, we're going to open it up for writing. A couple of you have already reached out to me multiple times. Shout out to Evan, right? And a couple others like JB Fortis. We are going to have that open to have your voices seen with words. So we'll have that up there. And as I said, ladies and gentlemen, it is hoodie season. Make sure you head over there. Look, you just got to click the tweet, click the link, buy a hoodie. It's $45 plus shipping. And I tell you, that's going to help us continue to grow. So I urge all of you, of course, to like and retweet and spread the word. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the NBA scores here. We're going to go back to Monday night, which was a full slate of games. I'll throw those scores real quick, get some reactions out of myself, and then we'll talk about last night. Jazz lose to the Cavs big by 23, 122-99. The Sixers beat the Raptors in overtime, 104-101. The Hawks edge the Orlando Magic, 126-125. Markelle Fultz looking absolutely fantastic in that game, 24-6-9, extremely healthy. DeJounte Murray also came back. He looked fairly good. Trae Young, volume scoring, man. It is absolutely insane. The Spurs beat the Rockets 124-105. The Timberwolves beat the Mavericks, putting them under 500, 116-106. The Bucks beat the Pelicans 128-119. The Thunder up in the Trailblazers 123-121. Shout out to Damian Lillard, who passed Clyde Drexler for the Portland Trailblazers all-time leader in scoring. The Suns mollywopped the Lakers 130-104 as the Lakers put out their tank lineup. And the Hornets actually upset the Kings in Sacramento 125-119. And a cool stat out of Sacramento. Domantas Sabonis has now had more 20-point games and 20-rebound games than Chris Webber. He's had 4 in 77 games. Chris Webber had 3 in over 400. Just saying. That is all your scores from Monday night. We have scores from last night, including a beatdown of the Golden State Warriors by the New York Knicks. The Jazz beat the Pistons 126-111. The Bulls edge out the Heat 113-103. And this comes off of the heels of reports of Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls not seeing eye to eye. Those are 100% legit, 100% true. It's going to be interesting. I'm not counting this as a major win. If you watch this game like I did, the Heat were without Jimmy Butler, who unfortunately had some gastrointestinal issues coming back from Mexico. They started Highsmith, they started Depot, and they started Strus. Like, this was just, hey, get bodies out there. Duncan Robinson played 36 minutes. If the Bulls had lost this game, we would be screaming to the heavens to start saving people off of this Bulls team, which actually already Alex Caruso is getting a lot of love. And apparently people are saying that they want Alex Caruso over Zach LaVine. We'll get into that. Also, last night, you had the Knicks demolish the Golden State Warriors 132-94. It was just an ugly game. Unless you're a Knicks fan. If you're a Knicks fan, it was the greatest game you could possibly watch. If you're just a fan of basketball, you shook your head. The Warriors are in trouble without Steph Curry. Jordan Poole, still good, but it was everybody else. And we'll get into that. Sean is just going to be incredulous this morning. I can already tell. I feel the energy and passion coming from a vibrant New York team who's now won 8 in a row. The Suns lose to the Wizards 113-110. I already put this tweet out. All of you have seen it. It's been put out now, and it's DeAndre Ayton getting into it with Monty Williams. We all knew this. This is not a surprise. The other thing that happened, which was a surprise, is that DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges started going at it on the free throw line, or in the while they're in the process of shooting free throws. With the Wizards were. So look, it's bad in Phoenix. They're about to get a new owner, and I'm going to tell you. I put it out there to KJ. This is very reminiscent of the '99 Houston Rockets. And if you don't know that story, we'll get into that a little bit. 113-110, Wizards over the Suns. Kyle Kuzma increasing his trade value. And then we have a new number one. It is the Game of Thrones out here in the Western Conference. And today, the Denver Nuggets get their turn to be the top seed in the West. 105-91 over the Grizzlies. Nikola Jokic with another triple-double, 13, 13, and 13. Take that as you will. I remember I'd said earlier that I really do think he's got the inside track to be a 3-time MVP, joining Larry Bird. All right, there are your scores from last night. I want to go ahead, though, and open up talking about the Phoenix Suns, not the game, but the actual ownership, the team. Matt Ishbia has agreed in principle to purchase the Suns for a record amount, ladies and gentlemen, of $4 billion. All right. This is a Phoenix Suns team that, like, historically has done nothing. $4 billion. Billy with a B dollars. If it goes through, which I'm pretty sure it will, he will be the next governor of the Phoenix Suns. By the way, that's what they call him, and the Phoenix Mercury. This is a record sale. It's only going to push valuations even higher. And I'm actually starting to worry because that makes me think of a future bubble. All right, we're going to go ahead and say good morning to the good people around the world. If you could do me the favor, like and retweet the show card. There's 40 plus of you in here, and there's only 14 retweets. I know a lot of you might be at work. and you can't do it because you're on your computer, we appreciate you listening. You can still sneak a retweet in, like when you go on break. All right, help us out so we can continue to grow. All right, we'll go to Sean first. Sean, good morning. Congratulations, 8 in a row. Everything looked great for these New York Knicks yesterday. They could not miss anything, it seemed, and then on top of that, the defense is what really stood out as they shut down anything that the Golden State Warriors are trying to do, except, for maybe 6 minutes of Jordan Poole isolations. Good morning, man. How you doing?
Good morning. Shout out to Gifted. He had a halftime speech yesterday, and he said that it was without Steph Curry, this team has a ceiling. Without when Jordan Poole was your number one go-to option, like your team just has a ceiling. So I would have been very upset if we lost that game yesterday because the Warriors are 3-14 on the road this year. So we did what we were supposed to do. We beat a shorthanded Warriors team, and the Knicks have won 8 in a row. It's annoying to hear Knicks fans like talk about how I'm going to space yesterday. We have won 8 games in a row. We're the hottest team in the league, no matter what Chris tells you. And I got to hear people crying about Donovan Mitchell and Zach LaVine and Kyle Kuzma and this doesn't matter and this, that, and the third. It's like, yo, can we be fans? Can we enjoy it? Like this idea, of listen, we'll get into it later, I'm sure. In regards to the Suns, if I'm James Dolan, I am licking my lips because the Phoenix Suns sold for $4 billion. How much are the Knicks? How much are the Lakers? How much are how much are the Celtics? And I knew it was gonna go for. Listen, once it's interesting you talk about a bubble because once the Clippers went for $2 billion and the Clippers hadn't done anything ever, it made everything. It increased the price of everything. Chris, you okay? We can hear you coughing.
Yeah. No, okay. I'm good. It went down the wrong pipe, man.
That's what someone said. So I don't know if there's really a bubble per se, simply because there are there's only 30 of these things and if you include the 4 major sports, there's 120 of these things in the world in the United States, and it's almost impossible to not make money on these things with these teams. So I don't know where the bubble's going to end. But I'm sure we'll get into all this stuff later. I do have a comment about the Hawks. Which game? The Hawks Magic game. The Markelle Fultz layup at the end of the game, it was the easiest layup inside of 10 seconds I've ever seen in my life. He glided to the basket with no resistance whatsoever. It was hilarious. But I'm sure we'll get into all of it later. Good morning.
What's his name? Keke for Orlando had a message saying like Markelle was shocked. Like he didn't even realize it until after the layup went in, but there was nobody there.
Nobody.
It was just I
was like
he was afraid he was gonna miss it because he was so shocked. He felt the ball leave his hand almost a little bit early, you know what I mean? And he got it in there. It was hilarious.
Bro. I was I need to go back and watch the play because I don't know if there was a switch that got missed or something, but it was crazy.
All right, we've got Micah Clark up here, diehard Mavs fans. Good morning, Micah. How you doing?
Man, I'm fantastic, Chris. How you doing?
I am well. If you are ever broadcasting live, do not try to drink a half a bottle of water with the energy mixed powder while you're trying to talk, because then bad things happen.
Right. Man, I'm just going to talk about. You know what, Chris? I'm happy for the Knicks, to be honest with you, to see them doing well, to show our stupid owner for being cheap what he let go. So, I'm happy for them, man. They've been through a lot over the years. To see them doing well and competing, I think it's great, because I always say I'm a Mavs fan second and a basketball fan first. And to see teams that have historically underperformed actually look competitive is you love to see it. So we'll just start off with that and just say good morning to you. And one more thing, I am hoping, somebody please tell Chicago if we call for Zach, tell us the same thing that you told us when we called for Lori. Because oh my God, please no. But that's all. Good morning to you, Chris.
All right. Good morning, Micah. We're definitely going to hit up the Zach conversation because Zach and both actually Zach and DeAndre Ayton are going through it in their respective cities, and it's interesting because the Bulls kind of did this to themselves. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Mike Williams has joined the stage, as has Paris Anderson. We're gonna go to Paris. Paris, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Chris, how's it going? Sean, how's it going? Let me congratulate all the Knicks fans. Sean, congratulations to you, my brother. 8 in a row is something to be it's something to be celebrated. I hope you guys get to 10. I really do mean that. No jokes aside. Hottest team though, Sean? I don't know about that. I'd probably say the Denver Nuggets, but I like what the Knicks are doing. I really do. Chris, man, at some point we're gonna have a conversation about Wiseman, like I did earlier when I came in here on, well, I didn't come in on my burner, somebody else.
Well, we can have that, as soon as we get good mornings over with, because it's getting bad.
Yeah, like I said, somebody came in here, Raw Sports, some guy that I don't know came in here and told you that in the beginning of the year. But hey, congratulations to the Knicks, and we'll just keep it rolling. Let me be respectful and say that. So yeah.
All right. There you go. Mike, what's up, man? It's been a minute. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Good morning to everybody. I know it's been a minute for myself and for y'all, man. We're constantly working, but I know it's probably gonna get talked about on Hawks Fans TV about Travis Schlink stepping down and Landry Fields stepping up. Yes, 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 yes. That's all I
Wait a minute,
wanted
that
to
actually
say.
happened.
It's
That
been
actually happened.
about damn time. Say that again, Sean.
Wait a minute, Travis Schlenk stepped down.
He's moving into a more supervisory role, and Landry Fields is taking over basketball operations.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I hope that'll be a part of the topic this morning. I'm going to step down and just be a listener this morning. But good morning to everybody, and glad to see all y'all still alive.
Chris?
Yep, I'm here. Sorry, I'm trying to read up on it because it came out at 9:09. The Hawks have officially announced that Travis Schlenk is stepping down from his position as president of basketball operations and moving into an advisory role, with Fields assuming control of the team's basketball ops. There's a large statement. I'll get the tweet up here in a moment. Man, it's crazy.
Y'all heard it here first.
All right, there you go. So we've got a new potential owner for Phoenix. We have a new GM, president of operations, Nick Great Landry Fields, right? We've got the DeAndre Ayton and the Zach LaVine situation going on. I want to say good morning to all of you who are coming in. If you could do me the favor, like and retweet the first show card, and that way I can also hit this and get the first read out the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we are brought to you by slamgoods.com. And if you head over to slamgoods.com, you can actually find a whole bunch of things for yourself and the basketball fan in your life. I have been pushing these Funko Pops. You better get them now because a couple of them have now sold out. They're $20. If you use promo code HoopSpaces, you'll save 15%. And then, while you're there, head over there and check out the pickup card game and go ahead and pick your copy up today because you'll save $3.75, which is more than enough to get you a proper cup of coffee, which you can drink out of your Hoop Spaces mug if you head over to the Hoop Spaces merch store. And if we do it well enough, maybe Slam Goods will pick Hoop Spaces merchandise up. You see where I'm going here. So make sure you head over to slamgoods.com, use promo code Hoop Spaces, save 15%.
What's a Funko Pop?
A Funko Pop?
Yes, sir.
It's a collectible. It's like a large bobblehead doll.
Okay, got you. I was just like Funko Pop. Okay,
Yeah, I was never into it until I saw a Tim Duncan one and I won it and it was sold out. And now I'm like, hey, I'm about to spend like $100 that I don't have after spending $3,200 to fix a leak to go get these limited edition ones.
Once you start, you can't stop. It's like Pringles.
Well, I can definitely stop with Pringles. I think you meant Lay's, like Lay's potato chips. Those are spot on. Salt and vinegar, best flavor. All right, we're gonna open it up with the Golden State Warriors and Knicks. We have Sean and Paris to break down the game. We have Paris to tell everybody he was right about James Wiseman. It is looking ugly, and he is looking lost, ladies and gentlemen. But to the victors go the spoils. So, Sean, the floor is yours. Go ahead and tell us what you saw last night, and let's get into it.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, it is not absolutely hilarious that the people of Atlanta will have to depend on a former Knick to get their organization right. I will be running with that joke for the next 7 to 10 years. Please get used to it. I was actually at the game last night with Cedric. Look, honestly, listen, we beat their ass, but it's like I didn't expect them to win by 38 points. But I'm actually here because I'm glad Paris is here because a few weeks ago, I said James Wiseman is a bust, and I got all types of pushback. And I'm looking, and I'm gonna find this tweet because last night in the game where there was no Steph Curry and no Andrew Wiggins, Mr. Wiseman had 4 more points than I did, and I didn't play last night. I'm gonna post this in the Jumbotron for you. The Warriors have whiffed on the number 2 pick. They had a golden ticket in their hand, and they whiffed. Absolutely whiffed. It is awful. Back to the game. Shout out to Jordan Poole because I bet him to have under 26.5 points, and he had exactly 26 because shout out to Steve Kerr because he did not put him back in the fourth quarter because he's like, why would I put him back in the game? We're getting our ass kicked in. Because especially since they play at Brooklyn tonight. Yeah, man, like Micah said, Jalen Brunson is him. Mark Cuban should be beaten with a bamboo stick. I think, and I said this a while back. Like I think the idea that, and Iman actually touched on it yesterday about like the parallel pathing of building a contender while developing the kids. Which is hard. I think that I will say that I think that too much pressure was placed on the kids in Golden State to think that like, oh, they're just going to step right in and help us compete for more championships, and then they'll just keep the dynasty going when Steph and Clay and Draymond move on. Like, it's hard. Like, I even see with our kids that we have now, like, they're good, but, like, how much can we really put on them? How much can we really expect for them? Like, not everyone's going to pop like day one, you know? I like Kuminga. I like Moody. I like Wiseman, whatever. But I'll say this about Wiseman. I think Wiseman needs to change the scenery. I think Wiseman needs to be in a different situation. I think if Wiseman were given the ability to just like, okay, James, here's a 30 usage. Go out there, do your thing, make your mistakes. We'll work around you. But they're trying to fit him into what they're trying to do, which they should, because as long as you have Steph Curry, you should try to compete for championships. But I don't think that's really going to work for him because he looked lost yesterday. So
the funny thing is that like I see a similar situation last year with Atlanta that I think the young guys in Golden State are doing. Like it's rough. Paris, like we understand without Curry, this is a different team, and we're not expecting them to do anything but fight to be 500. But I do have a question for you, right? Is Jordan Poole just simply not enough to be competitive? Because that's what I saw last night. Like it just wasn't even competitive. And it's not anything that Jordan Poole can or cannot do. It's more of like the rest of the world now views you as mortal. Whereas before there was a stigma and an aura that you had to contend against as well as the player.
Right. Just put down my dictionary because sometimes I need a dictionary, Chris, to respond to you. But listen, man, let me break it down in simple terms, right? What we are witnessing with the Golden State Warriors, I don't think, and somebody please, a historian, cut me off if I'm mistaken. We have never witnessed the transformation of power this quick, if you will. I'm thinking of Magic Johnson, the last time they won a championship, and then Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal shows up, and that thing keeps going, right? But what you have here is your core in their mid-30s, and we have to learn how to, you know what I'm saying, start a whole new empire, if you will, right? And attacking Wiseman, I get it, it's low, but and what I mean by that is it's so hard to get a big man. Like it's just so hard. I mean, ask the Knicks with Kristaps Porzingis, right? Like ask those guys. It is so hard to pick a good big man. I only can think of 3 God-smacked big men in the league: Joker, Giannis, and Embiid. I mean, somebody cut me off if there's anybody else. And Wiseman actually has the potential to be that, believe it or not. You got to get those dudes at least 5 years, not 2 or 3, especially if they got hurt. But then when you have a generational player like Curry, you have to adjust around him, right? And let me give you guys some privy to the Warriors front office. Kerr was locked out of the draft room, right? He wanted to get Tyrese Halliburton. To be honest with you, he wanted to give up a pick and get him. That's what Kerr wanted. But they locked him out of the trade room. We got Wiseman, so you have that. You have to deal with that. But Wiseman needs to be in a situation like Giannis, where there's literally nothing but him, and you kind of build around him. I think that's what Sean was kind of alluding to. So we just have this unique situation. Kerr wants Kuminga to play like Draymond. He wants Kuminga to do everything Draymond does: rebound like Draymond, pass like Draymond, play defense like Draymond. But nobody wants to play like Draymond. So guess what Kerr did? He put Draymond in the second unit, right? So we just have these things we're working out. Yes, Poole is mini Curry, but he's mini Curry. He's not Curry. So we just have all these things. We do have a ring, but that push to the next dynasty, who's going to be that next team? That is a big question mark. So that's where we're at with this Golden State Warriors thing, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Anybody else want to hop in here? Because I just it concerns me, and I agree 100% that maybe Wiseman just doesn't fit and needs a different situation where he can be the focal point of development. The one question that I do have is if he doesn't fit. And there are times when he's playing with Jordan Poole in pick and roll where he is absolutely phenomenal and he flashes this. Could it be that the league or the Golden State Warriors front office, they just don't think that the offense currently constructed around Steph is viable long term? And that's why they pivoted, and instead of getting a guard, they picked up Wiseman. Because that's always what I thought, that Steph is such a historical anomaly in terms of shooting that they already looked 4 years ahead and said, hey, this just isn't going to happen because nobody's Steph. Sean, your hands up, go first. Paris after him, and then if anybody else wants to talk.
So you bring up a great point, because it's like, if you believe, you can make the case for Wiseman to take Wiseman too, because if you think he's going to be like this generational talent, what have you. But at the same time, it's like Cedric always says, it's hard to serve 2 masters, because that's the problem that the Knicks have had. Like they're trying to develop and they're trying to compete. Obviously not on the level of the Golden State Warriors, but you're trying to win games, you're trying to compete. I find it interesting, Paris, what you said about how Kerr wanted Halliburton. I've always pushed back on that, because I'm like, if you draft Halliburton needs the ball in his hands and he plays with Steph Curry. So how could that, I don't understand how that would have worked. Well, I guess he'd become off the bench, which is fine, I would say this, and I've had a tweet about this. Like, if they wanted, the guy if they were going to take a big, the guy they should have taken was Obi Toppin, because Obi Toppin would be killing in this offense. He does everything that they want to do. He's amazing. He's a good passer, moves out the ball, doesn't need the ball. Like, he would be perfect in that system, and that would have been like the Golden State has done it again. I say he's a bust not because I don't think he'll ever be good at basketball, but when you've played 80, how many games he's played in 3 years? 70. Not I don't even know how much it is. Like that's what I say he's a bust. Like what they've expected to get out of him, they have not gotten. But I just think that he needs a different situation because they're not gonna scrap their offense to build around James Wiseman while they have Steph, Clay, and Dre. That's just not going to happen. So yeah, I'm done.
54 games is what he's played, and in those 54, he's averaged all rounded to the nearest whole number: 10 points, 5 boards, 1 assist, 1 block, 3 fouls.
Yeah, man, that's not what you want.
Paris, go ahead.
Right. So here's why Tyrese Halliburton would have been really good for the Warriors. Nobody on the Golden State Warriors needs the ball in their hand except for Draymond Green. I'll say that one more time. Draymond Green is the only Golden State Warrior that needs the basketball in his hand to be effective. Curry doesn't. Clay isn't. He's an automatic machine gun. He doesn't need the ball in his hand. He just needs it for a second, right? So when you have Halliburton, right, he probably would have had to work on his defense, right? I mean, Draymond came in the league, with just this aggressive, amazing defense, and he's gotten better. But with a Halliburton, we probably would have just honed in on his defense. But as far as playmaking, oh my God, he would have been phenomenal for us because that's literally all we need. We don't win the championship without Draymond Green. We just simply don't, right? So I agree with Curry there, right? But we did trade Monte Ellis earlier on for Andre Bogut, and we ended up winning the championship. When I was watching the Warriors before we won the championship in 2013, 2014, and I guess Jerry West would agree with me because he initially came in there and did it, we needed a big guy, right? So I guess that's where it was going because we didn't really need anything else except for, like I said, Draymond's getting older. You know what I'm saying? So we need somebody. We need that. Like, I don't know if we're playing with Looney, right? And the reason we could do that is because we got Draymond and Curry. We got all these other guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why Looney is able to look so good. So if Wiseman can just duplicate that, I literally look on the floor. If you could just play like Looney, because you could be better than him. You're better in a sense that you have more potential than Looney, right? You just don't have the experience. Looney is a glue, right? If you got our def lineup, right? You just pop that 5 in, and that 5 has to know what they're doing, bro, and they're gonna be okay. Wiggins, Barnes, Bogut, Zaza Pachulia, like just put that 5 in there. If we're rotating right, we'll be right. But again, the new challenge is, right? When you see Moody, when you see Kuminga, Wiseman is questionable, but when you see Poole, that's our new young core warrior. That is the future, right? We've already extended all of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we want to work on those guys, right? And you got to give Wiseman more time because of the high draft pick, Sean. I hear what you're saying, but because of the high draft pick, you got to give him that time. And again, going back to Giannis, going back to Joker, those guys didn't come in the league kicking off. I don't know any center that came in the league kicking off except for Kareem and probably Bill, maybe Shaq, but you need that time to development and footwork. You know what I'm saying? They were even saying it about Shaq, like you got to work on your footwork. So it's going to take some time for Wiseman. I hope he gets it done as a Golden State Warrior. If not, I hope he gets it done in general, right? Because he is in some, him and going back and forth in the G League. It is, it's weighing on him and the Golden State Warriors. But yeah,
And with that, first poll question of the day is Nate McMillan related. As Travis Schlenk is stepping down, we asked the question of which Sean and I are probably of like mind: is Coach McMillan next? My answer is yeah, because it doesn't seem to be working in terms of effective communication. But that's just me. Second poll question centered on James Wiseman. What are the Warriors going to do? I still think he has all of the talent to be a top center in this league, especially in a Spain pick and roll based offense where he can get the pick in the middle of the floor and be able to use his elite athleticism at his size against his contemporaries to get easy rim runs and get to the line. He can also hit the shot too out in the corner. So I think he has the potential. The question is, what do the Warriors do with him? Are they going to develop into a top center, or is he going to end up falling into the productive player category? or they're going to trade him for a win now piece, which I think might be the move for Golden State, especially if you think Steph Curry is coming back in 4 to 6 weeks and you have a shot getting into the play-in or even, the 6th seed, because the West, it's going to be wide open and attrition is going to set in. They can shoot up and just like the Knicks get an 8-game win streak and be right there, right? So if a win now player becomes available, do they use Wiseman? Do they pull the trigger? I think they do. That's just me. We'll go to Mike first so he can answer the Nate McMillan. I believe he will also say yes. He might be praying for it. I don't know. Mike, go ahead.
Great poll question that I personally wanted to ask before like your poll actually came out, because I wanted to hear what a lot of people that are not true Atlanta Hawks fans thought. My personal thought and my personal prayer is that Nate McMillan is gone. And I say that because Nate McMillan's style of basketball compared to 2022, 2023, and future moving forward basketball style of play just does not fit. And I say that because Nate McMillan is an old school kind of guy. Great basketball coach, great basketball player, great person as he is, but fitting in today's basketball and the style of basketball, this run and gun play that we do here, especially in Atlanta, which is kind of flashy. I know some people probably disagree and want to laugh. That's cool. But it just doesn't fit. And we need somebody who wants to let our players play their style of play so that we can win more. We develop a lot of great players. We've seen a lot of great players come through Atlanta go. And he needs to go. And I'm going to leave it at that and let y'all have the rest.
I've always said he is not the coach you thought he was. I think the team gelled after the dismissal of Lloyd Pierce more so than Nate McMillan like revolutionizing his coaching. He is coaching the Hawks just like he coached the Pacers. They're going to be competitive, but I don't think the players buy into it. I think they actually get tired of it quicker. And I think you see some of that friction in their interactions. We'll go to Micah, and then we got TJ up here. I know Sean will want to chime in about Coach Nate McMillan. I want to give everybody down there a shout out. Thank you for making any part of your day part of Hoop Spaces. 2 things. Please like and retweet the show card. It's the very first tweet. Like, there's only 20 plus, like there's 22. There's almost 100 people in here. And a lot of you reached out and you wanted the merchandise. It is now live. Go ahead and avail yourself of the Hoop Spaces hoodies and more importantly, the plushies. Because my son really did say we had to do that because, he wanted to be involved. All right, Micah, then TJ, everybody, good morning.
Yeah, my only comment was it is so hard and almost impossible to switch over from a dynasty. Like, if you look across the league and even other sports, people that were dominant for, say, a decade or so, they have not even sniffed close to that. I mean, what has Chicago been since Michael Jordan? Then of course, the Bonnie Cowboys. And the Patriots look like they're going nowhere fast. And the Spurs are playing to get Wembanyama. So it is, once the dynasty is over, it is so hard to replace that. And that's all I was going to say.
I was trying to say, like, if the Warriors do this will be the first time that this will happen, that they can transfer dynasty to some younger players, which is, like I said, they're trying to do the impossible. So, yeah.
It's hard. TJ, I thought you were going to pick right up. Go ahead, man. What you got?
Well, I gotta say that the spaces have been really bad the last few days. Good morning, everybody. Make sure you guys retweet the show card and the hoodies. The hoodies look pretty nice there, Chris. I just wanted to chime in with what Sean with a W said about Wiseman, quote unquote, being a bust. I think he made a valid point about who the Warriors could have got, like Obi Toppin. I think he would have definitely been a good fit. Also, Okongwu and Halliburton, like Paris said, I think those people, when you look at it in hindsight, they probably would have been a better point. But at the time of the draft, we needed a big. So there's that. As far as the game goes, man, the Knicks couldn't miss. Like, they couldn't miss at all. Everyone was shooting threes, including player number 9, which was kind of surprising. But the Warriors are who they are right now. They don't have a mid like stopgap to help these younger dubs play the game. So I'm gonna still be in the bushes until we get this thing whole situated. But I'm a wise guy, so I'm not gonna say anything negative about him. He did look pretty atrocious in the fourth quarter, just position wise. But 22 minutes is a start. He's getting a lot more opportunities now with the injury to Curry, and that's a positive for me. The more minutes he gets out there, the better he'll be able to perform and live up to that number 2 pick.
Yeah, no, I agree with you that he needs minutes, and that's why they kept shuffling him around. When you look back at the 2020 draft, like it was not a great draft. Let's just be honest. There is a player though that I thought could have done an amazing job as well in Golden State, and then that was Tyrese Maxey. Just throwing that out there. We'll go to Bleacher Dave, professional Golden State Warriors fan, has lived through it all. The good, and then it went bad, and then it went kind of good to bad, and now it was great. But now it's teetering on the edge of what are we going to do? Bleacher Dave, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, family. Look, baby, reigning NBA champions. It's all good in the hood, man. Everything we've been through. Weissman, does he really have trade value? What can you really get for Weissman that was relative to what you gave up when you picked him in the number 2 slot? My feeling right now is this is too big of a value mismatch to dump a number 2 for whatever whatever Wim Whams and Zuzus you might be able to give for him right now. And so because of that, and I think I heard somebody say it earlier, it is what it is. They're gonna ride or die with this cat for the immediate future, and either he gonna do or he ain't gonna or he ain't, and it's gonna have a major impact on the Warriors' ability to compete over the next year or two. You cannot take an L in the number 2 slot. And to be fair to Wiseman, to give him a little bit of room, he ain't played very much ball over the last 4 years. Now, with that said, when he was down in the G League, he was not dominating, tearing it up. He did not, and athletically, look like although, in warm-ups and practice, he looks like a dominant player. In the G League games, he was not dominating competition, just athletically. And so I don't know what Weissman's going to do. I don't know what he's going to grow up to be. I don't know what it's going to look like. But to this date, it has not looked encouraging. The Warriors do play a unique system. I think it requires him to be places and do things that he has not had to do in his career. Playing off ball, not calling for the ball, and being able to be like Looney and pick up the scraps. And to some extent, that's what Kuminga had to do to show his way. So I think the Warriors are going to hang on to him. I think they're going to give him some more chance to try and develop him as a player. We have not seen, him and Moody kind of develop in the ways that were expected. But I'm still holding out hope for this changing of the guard, and that the team is willing to dump more money into player salaries than any other team, any other franchise in the history of the league. And we're going to continue to ride for that as we continue to splash, babies. Still champions, still here.
I love it, man. I love it. The unbridled passion and enthusiasm. To a question from Edwin. He signed a 4-year extension, Nate McMillan did. So I think he's on the books until 23, 24. So 2 more years after this one. We'll go ahead, Paris. What you got?
I just wanted to give a special shout out to Sean and Cedric in the building. They up here dressed nice, looking like billionaires, man. Like they own the Knicks, man. Like, they just got drafted or something. So
right, yeah. You see that Cedric picture?
Hey,
it's
man.
Fire, yo.
Hey, 8 in a row, do something to you, man. Shout out to those brothers.
Oh well, no. I mean, what we really need to do is drop a bomb, because Ced is killing it. He is killing the game, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you follow my man Cedric. You can listen to him and Sean with the W and Jeff J Says It live from the Mecca. You can also catch Ced on Nick's Chat the day after with I Am Helito. He's got big things happening, and I'm happy and proud, man. Like when you see the idea work, whether it works in the way you first write it out as a goal, right? You just have to give credence to that, because that's just grind. That's just work. So big ups to my man Ced. We'll go to Akil. Akil, I want to say thank you for liking and retweeting the show card. I appreciate it.
Listen, man, give me one fair reminder and I'll do it. I just kind of forget here and there. What did the Warriors do with James Wiseman? He's like one of those dudes that I thought people kind of should have understood that he was going to be a multi-year project. Right, he barely played any college basketball as is. Plus, I'm pretty sure he was like a late bloomer into basketball in and of itself, like coming into college. So like he barely played basketball. So like this idea that he was going to come in and be some like impact guy right away, I thought was never really going to be the case. So yeah, it'll probably take some years for him to like develop, which is what they probably should have expected, because I mean, like, that dude just right now does not look like a basketball player. Like, and that's fine. Like, once again, he's barely played any basketball as is. The biggest thing for me is like, it's like all the young kids that they got there. Like Moody sometimes looks like he's gonna be an actual like player, but then he'll do stupid stuff all the time. It's just like, oh, I thought like he was supposed to be like one of like the smarter guys.
I am so high on Moody, and then he does that at Kiel. You're right. And then like you just look at him like, what?
Like he was supposed to be like, oh, I'm like one of the smart kids, and it's just like, oh nope, you're doing bonehead stuff too. Like Kuminga's like the guy that like he's been getting like a consistent 20-ish, 25 minutes, and he's like the guy who's actually looks like he's gonna be like the dude out of all the young kids. And this is like the first year they're kind of leaning into like doing the 2 timeline thing. Like people are trying to say last year they did it, but it's just like, let's face it, the young kids didn't play at all in the playoffs last year. And the Warriors, they really like want to be the San Antonio Spurs, right? Like that's kind of like the dream with this timeline. It's like you have your old guys and you have your young guys, and you keep winning while you're developing the young guys, and that's really, really hard to do. And like the Spurs are the only people that have probably pulled it off in like the history of the NBA, because of the Spurs, and Greg Popovich is Greg Popovich, right? So we will see like what happens with the young guys. They clearly like miss Dante. Dante is probably one of their better defenders. And the Warriors, like outside of Steph this year, it's just nasty to see. Like it is gross. It is gross basketball. I mean, they beat Toronto, and they're the only other team in the NBA that's like more gross than them without Steph. So like I don't want like zero disrespect to them, but like I'm not taking much away from beating them. I mean, they have to play the Nets like today, so that's tough. But the Knicks, on the flip side, the Knicks are really, really fun. I think this is like as close to a blend of what Tibbs wanted as far as like the offense and defense. Quentin Grimes is a monster. Like he is a hound dog. Like he kind of reminds me of GP2 a little bit, except like the straight up verticality of an athlete. But like he kind of reminds me of GP2. Jalen Brunson's playing at an almost near all-star level. My like one little beef with the Knicks right now is how like they're using Isaiah Hartenstein like he's Clint Capella. But like that's like my one like kind of frustration, because like that's just not who he is. But besides that, man, the Warriors clearly have stuff to figure out. But the Knicks are riding high on a little bit of win streaks. So shouts to them. New York basketball's in a good spot.
What about your Pistons?
Man, we played Sunday. We played the Nets.
Well, you played the Jazz last night.
I didn't watch that game. The Jazz kicked us too, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they killed us. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, Lauri Markkanen cooked us. All right.
Yes.
That's
you
cool.
You didn't watch it. I will spare you the badness, because it was not cool.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
Right. Pick up a hoodie.
We'll do. We'll do.
Thank you.
Buddies look tough.
All right, appreciate that. All right, look, it's that easy. Come on up, like and retweet, and go ahead and talk about whatever it is in the NBA world. Currently, people are saying, okay, what type of win now player is available? I've got a couple of questions out there. In this world, like the Golden State Warriors are blessed, right? They have manipulated the cap expertly. And there is a possible way here that they can get a win now player. Now, if you are wanting defense, like they can just pick up maybe an Alex Caruso, and that would team him up with Dante DiVincenzo off of the bench. But make no mistake, they can go for someone larger, like Wiseman, right? He's $9 million. Throw in Dante, that's 13.5. Throw in Moody, maybe. You're at 16, and at that point, you're only one player away from getting the likes of a Zach LaVine or getting the likes of a DeMar DeRozan or my personal favorite for them, Vucevic out of Chicago.
I don't know if the Warriors, like, what's the point of the Warriors making a trade? They're already, 11th? Right now in the West? Like, let's say that this, 4-week stretch that they just lose a ton more games. And they're, 13th, 14th in the Western Conference, something like that. Like, what's the point of trying to, push the chips back in?
Well, this is as simple as math, right? The New York Knicks, just 8 games ago, were under 500. They were 10-13. So they went from 10-13 out of the play-in to the 6th seed. Like, that has every possibility for the Golden State Warriors written into this story narrative, because they're only a half game out from Dallas, who's under 500. And nobody's trusting Dallas right now. Like, Mark Cuban is getting killed on both sides. First, he's got this Dirk statue, and then he's got the actual team, right? No one trusts Minnesota. Even if Cat came back, people don't trust Minnesota. Like, just look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, do I trust the Minnesota Timberwolves? Like, be honest. The answer is going to be no. And then what are you going to do? Like, it's hard. But they can get there, because even if they lose 5 games, if they get an 8-game win streak, they're back at 500. And that would put them in the play-in.
That's true. They'd be a scary playing team, let me tell you.
Oh yeah. So Vucevic is $23 million. Like, you put in Wiseman, you put in Dante, you put in Moody. You only need to match up to 15%, and then you get back an all-star level big who's going to save your rebounding, be able to play low, passes almost as well as Draymond, especially out of the post. And now, not only do you have Curry doing Curry and Clay being Clay and Poole being Poole, like, you'll be able to go into your second unit, because you're probably still going to start Kevon Looney for continuity. And then, you can feed it into Vooch, and Vooch eats up the other team's second unit. Or you start Vooch, and you save, everybody else. Hey, look, you can say no, TJ. What's your thoughts?
Or we could just hold pat, because we're only 2.5 games out of a solid playoff position. You develop the team, you develop the young dubs. They're gonna have to play through the mistakes. Hell, we're mid already, and worry about next year. Maybe buy out one of those contracts. At worst case scenario, if the whole place is on fire, and get you somebody that way, a free agent. But you don't need to really necessarily tear everything down just because we're mid after winning the NBA championship. I think it's still, we're not quite at the halfway point, but I understand where all these things are coming from. I just don't see where we have to really just dismantle everything right this second.
So everything Chris said was spot on, right? Like, you want to be where the Knicks are in the 6th spot, right out of that play-in mess, man. Like, the Knicks are exactly where they want to be, and shout out to them. If they keep going, they're going to be all good, right? Like, look at the Kings, right? They're out of harm's way and above in the Western Conference. They're out of harm's way because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to be in the play-in if the Warriors are going to get into the play-in, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be none of those teams, like the Blazers, the Jazz, Minnesota, or the Mavericks, because the Warriors are a scary team at any level. Like, don't have Kerr and Draymond and Clay and all them healthy, you feel me, at a 9 or 8 spot. That's just going to look ugly for them. You know what I'm saying? Because, we're just still working stuff out. So, yeah, man, like, Vucevic would be interesting, but a lot of people will be interested. It's the Warriors. Like Curry has literally won with, you know what I'm saying, multiple guys, right? That's just what's interesting about Curry. But yeah, like I don't know. It could go either way. We don't have to do anything. Me personally, my vote is to not do anything. Keep developing Wiseman. Hold on to that 2 pick for a couple more years, and just let's play it out. But yeah, if we traded for something, that's not a necessarily bad idea either. Like I miss GP2 personally, so I love DiVincenzo and Lamb and all those guys. But like I'm gonna be honest, I miss GP2. I miss Otto Porter. I miss all those guys.
Otto's like the real one, man. Like that's the guy that I was just like, I thought JaMychal Green would be able to replicate like maybe even a little bit, and it's just like no.
Oh man, I was too. I was like, man, they picked up the perfect vet big.
Yeah, like Otto is so smart, man. Like
Dave, hop in here when you can.
He's so smart. It's just he's not anything near what Otto was last year.
Yeah, there ain't no cavalry coming over the horizon to come save the Warriors. It ain't happening. You're not going to trade for something better than you already got. And also, given the fact that the Warriors play a unique system, that's going to take anybody coming in some time to get adjusted to like throw Curry the ball, get out the way, and cut hard, right? And so, given the fact that you're trying to, if you want to make a midseason trade, it's just going to take a while for you to get that to fit. The Warriors going to win or lose with the talent they got on the roster right now, right? And you never forget, they got the most underrated player in the history of the NBA sitting on the sideline with a jacked up shoulder. And that man can do uncanny things of a nature of which we have never seen before. There's never been a player that plays with that efficiency of Steph Curry. He's playing, or he was the only player who was having a lower usage rate than points per game earlier in this season since Jordan. The things he does are things that we've not seen in a way in a system that has never quite been exactly duplicated before. And so we got to look at Klay Thompson. If Klay Thompson is not going to be able to, if Klay Thompson can play like he did against the Celtics, what do you say? His first time when he pinned Jason Tatum, he said that's the first time I've done that in years. If you can play with that level of defensive intensity and then with that level of offensive effectiveness, Warriors is going to play for the championship again. But if Klay Thompson continues to play like the Klay Thompson that we see on a nightly basis, they're going to have a hard time competing. Now, there are some things to look forward to. Jonathan Kuminga's emergence as a defensive wing is brilliant. And so we can lament and rue the loss of GP2, but Jonathan Kuminga as a defender has length that GP2 ain't got. The possibility of having him and Wiggins out there as defensive wing stoppers is a problem. And it's a big-ass problem for the Boston Celtics because they got the two dominant wings and they can be locked up. If you saw what Kuminga did to Luka and how he forced the ball to Luka's hands at one point, I've never seen that happen. So I'm very high on the possibility, but also recognize he's still a youngster and the playoffs are a little bit different. He got a little bit of seasoning. But I think there are some things to look for and to look forward to. The problem is, the starting five earlier this season was the most efficient and effective starting five in the league. Everybody else was trash. And so it's just going to take some time, hopefully, and hopefully that time comes this season for them to integrate some of them second-ranked players, some of them younger players, because they just can't afford to retain veterans because of the way the salary structure is set up. I'm still hopeful. I still believe. I believe that this team has been through the fire before, and they got some leadership around that. One issue I have is they threw a whole bunch of money at Jordan Poole. Is Jordan Poole that kind of player? Is he really that kind of player? Is he going to be consistently that kind of player to be a max kind of player? Or did they feel pressure because he got socked in the face to have to demonstrate some loyalty? I don't know yet.
That contract was already handed out before the hammer. Like,
was it? He signed after it.
Yeah, he caught the contract before the hands.
Yeah. Yeah, the
No, 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 no,
contract.
no, no. He signed that contract. It might have
I know.
been
Oh, yo, he
unreleased. It was
signed
announced
it.
after.
He
Yes, I
signed
know
it,
when it
but
was signed.
it,
Yes.
it, it the negotiations were like 99% done.
The money was coming no matter what, man. Like you may have signed the dotted line after it, but
See,
Yeah.
that may be your better trade chip because Jordan Poole has value, right? You want to trade a player who's got peak value, not a dude that's got minimal value.
Oh well. See, the thing with Wiseman is he has static value as a 21-year-old athletic big with potential. Like his people will say his value will go down. His value will be relative to what the draft strength is, right? So if it's a super strong draft, maybe his value slips from like when he was drafted at 2 to maybe 15. That's still valuable. That's really more of how the business side they're looking at it, right? And on top of that, he's gonna cost less because his play hasn't warranted a huge extension.
Yeah, so that's why I think so. Two things you said there: the relative value between the 2 pick and the 15 pick is a magnitude of difference. You know, you get in them top 2, 3 picks, you can't flub them. You need a franchise defining and changing player in there, or you done whiffed. And then if they getting Jordan Poole's, and we know they got to match salaries, blah blah blah. Getting Jordan Poole's money off a roster that is deep in the luxury tax could pay multiple rewards for the Warriors. You know, that does open up a trend. You know, what happens in transition and stuff continues to age. I'm just not sold on a dude who dribble and can't defend. I'm
I
just
feel
not
you.
sold on him yet, despite all his trickery and his offensive, arsenal and, all he can do on the offensive end. In the Warriors system, you got to be able to play off the ball. And that's been their genius. I just don't know if being a ball dominant point guard is what the Warriors really need right now.
So I was talking to a reporter, and we had a comp, and it was a Major League Baseball comp. He is the offensive Ozzie Smith.
Flashy, baby, flashy.
If those who don't know, I mean, go watch Oz. But that's what we came together and figured out. All right, I want to get a couple new voices up here. We have Nick, we have Jasmine, we have JFK. Jasmine from Winsider writing Dallas Wings coverage for the WNBA. Make sure you tap into her as we get closer to the WNBA draft and the WNBA season. Big news out of Phoenix with the purchase of the Suns. The Mercury will also have a new owner who's already said a couple of times that he's going to invest in both teams. So that is a good news situation. We'll go to you first, Jasmine. Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. Good morning, everybody. Definitely happy that Phoenix has new ownership. Just hopeful that the new people in place are taking the organization in the right direction and is giving the organization the same or a similar respect that they give to the Phoenix Suns. But in terms of the Golden State Warriors, I'm a little confused by what everybody's saying, especially when it comes to like the younger players, because I feel like I heard something about like choosing Jordan Poole or James Wiseman. I'm not really sure if I misheard that right or wrong. And then on top of that, I think Golden State has to answer the question if they actually want to develop James Wiseman, because developing him could also mean like stagnating the offense and team chemistry when, not really Steph, but Clay and Draymond's like, demise in the game is like on the horizon a little bit. So I'm just trying to get a clear picture of what everybody's saying. So are y'all saying that they need to move on from some of their younger players, or they need to keep Wiseman and develop him however he should choose?
The question that I have in the polls, I'm trying to separate that. One is that they're all in and invested in developing him, and they're going to make him into a top center, eventually. The second one is he kind of plateaus and bottoms out, but they make him a productive player. And then the third is they kind of divest. I can't remember what it was, but away from him and use him as a trade chip for a win now player. Right? Those are the three paths that I see as what their potential decision making is.
Gotcha. And in that respect, I feel like he should be a trade piece. Um, trying to develop somebody who's a little bit more injury prone than the next person when you have arguably the best player in the game right now still on your team. I think that's like a hit or miss. And then on top of that, the offense probably wouldn't be as stagnant when Curry is out if they had a reliable big that could go and get them points game after game after game. Like I have some respect for Kevon Looney, but yeah, no. Like last night, he was getting ate up on the defensive end, and I really just I hear what everybody was saying about him earlier, how he has his nice spurts and everything, but I'm not sold on him. And then you have Draymond Green, who of course is aging. So I feel like at this point, like you're trying to win now, and you're not trying to waste any more years. Like if you want to build a dynasty, I feel like you have to make an aggressive move, and that would be moving on from Wiseman and finding a more valuable piece.
Yeah, no, all right. That's exactly why I wrote it that way. That's a great point, great argument. We'll go next to Nick, and then we got KP, the executive hater, and JFK. Nick, your thoughts so far? Good morning.
I mean, we're doing a lot of talking about James Wiseman, just from a content perspective and allocation of time. But, I mean, he's 21. And so I think if you asked the entire league and its front offices, I think half of them would say he's an asset worth acquiring, and I think half of them would say, he hasn't really shown it. And so that's going to be the story until they do it. We've seen that trying to build for the now and the future with a championship roster is hard. That's why most teams can't do it. And so, my overall kind of take on the Warriors is that, like, one, you can only draft who's available. So, while someone like Maxey obviously would be great, like Maxey wasn't in conversation for the 2 pick, realistically. And so, the LaMelo Ball thing is the obvious one. Halliburton a little bit further down the line, but a lot of teams passed on Halliburton. And when you treat draft picks like a luxury, I think that's when teams often outthink themselves a little bit, and you see a lot of teams right now doing that. The Knicks have done that in the last couple of drafts where they've kind of punted on opportunities to draft guys and use them more as like stocks and bonds rather than kind of actual personnel acquiring. Who do you need and what do you need? What skill sets do you need on your team? And the Warriors felt like their guards were covered and their wings were covered. And all right, cool. We could really use, it would be great if we had a super stretchy big man. And there was a guard available who people knew was a generational type passer with vision and creativity and size. And by the way, he's also been hurt. It's not like LaMelo himself has turned into an all-NBA player yet. But they passed on a guy who had like more displayed skills for, potential, for big man potential. And so what you end up when you go for like the mystery door is you get whatever's behind it. Like when you burst through in American Gladiators, like sometimes it's clear through to the finish line and it's great. And sometimes you run into Glacier. And they ran into Glacier, and that stinks.
Reference.
I love it. That was a good reference for American Gladiators. Which, by the way, if you are of a certain age, you could not avoid it. It was there. KP, the executive hater. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. I hear a little bit of muffledness. I hope that is not you out in the bitter cold with that Android phone that's about to lock up. How you doing?
Stop. Can you just say good morning instead of all of the slander and Moran? Well, first I want to say shout out to the brother Cedric. Congratulations on your work. Hold on one second. Shout out to him. Secondly, can people just stop crying about James Wiseman? The owner wants to develop him. The coach doesn't. It's pretty obvious on that point. Thirdly, I watched this show called Moon Knight. and I dubbed it Midnight because it was that mid. Shout out to Phase 4 of Marvel because it's been trash. The West is midnight. It's the Midwest. Every team is bad. There's no dominant team. Ain't no team I'm afraid of in the West or the East. There's no dominant anybody anywhere doing anything. So the Warriors will be fine. They had their best two players out. They had one of the best bench players out, and Jamaica Green was out. So when you get that and you're playing a dumbass Lamb dude that shouldn't be on the team anymore, like he's a waste of space. Get him off the Warriors and get somebody else on there, or give those minutes to somebody else. It's pretty bad. Him, not the team. The Warriors will be fine. They'll come back when Steph and everybody's healthy in the second half of the season and win the championship like they always do. Because I can tell you this. No matter what the scenario, no matter what what it looks like, the Warriors healthy in the playoffs, nobody wants to see them. Not no damn gritty ass Memphis, not no damn one man show Luka, ain't no passing savant Joker want to see them. And shout out to the frauds of the Suns. They've been frauds a long time. The new owner just bought a fraud purchase. It might be FTX on the low. That's how fraud the Suns are. So shout out to the frauds. No team in the West scares the Warriors. Shouldn't be all this hubbub. But the players have to play better. Clay has to play better. Poole is coming into his form from the beginning of the season. Wiggins is an all-star. Steph is the best player in the league. But yeah, the coach doesn't want Wiseman, but the owner does. That's just how the game goes. Oh, shout out to James Gunn, too. You're doing a great job, sir.
All right, I'll be the host until Chris comes back. Usually this is when Chris comes back. See, whenever I say that, Chris always comes back.
Yeah, no, it's really weird. My mic is either off or on, even though I'm trying to toggle it, and just I don't know. It's weird, really weird. JF,
that's what you get for slandering an Android, Chris. Your phone taps out. I got my algorithm and my IP address.
It's not my phone. I just told you what it was. It's the mic. Like,
is your mic connected to your phone?
No, it's a headset.
Okay, gotcha, Chris. I'm sure it's a quote unquote headset from the quote unquote non-phone. Okay.
Killing me, JF. Your Heat lost. What's up,
Chris? Good morning. Yeah, I did go see a basketball game last night in Miami. But it wasn't the Heat, Chris. It was actually the Miami Hurricanes. I went to go see the first college basketball game of the year for me. We beat Virginia. Shouts out to Isaiah Wong, that boy balling. And shouts out to Joseph. He hit a big shot. But again, that was a great win by Miami Hurricanes. But it's still weird to me why Coach Larinaga is still playing a 4-guard set with one forward. Like, I'm not sure how he's successful with that, but we're 12-1, and we should be ranked a lot higher, Chris. But yeah, we did lose last night, Chris. I did watch the game. I recorded it, and this is what it is, Chris. If we play a bad team, we're gonna play at a level. If you play a good team, we're gonna play at a level. I think we're just playing to other teams' level, and it's hurting us. Max Strus is definitely hurting us because we counted on him to be that guy to, go ahead and make some offensive plays and at least have some type of defense. But Hayward Highsmith is actually outplaying him in minutes, even if he doesn't take that many shots. But it's just his contributions on rebounding, defense. Like, man, was he doing his thing on defense, and we couldn't capitalize on a lot of things. There's a big difference between Bam being in the game and Bam not being in the game, and it's kind of like night and day to a point where it can easily shift momentum on a dime. And that kills us every time because we can't keep on playing Bam like that. But he is playing at an all-star level. So is Tyler Hero. But my last thing I got to say is, Jimmy, stick to the coffee, leave the crickets alone. No reasons why you had the bubble guts coming back from Mexico. You should have stayed away from the water too. So, yeah, be more conscious when you travel. And yeah, shouts out to the Canes. Go Canes. And happy National Early Signing Day. Shouts out to Mario Cristobal, number 3 class.
All right, and that's a good break that we have real quick, so I can go over some top 25 scores in men's and women's college. Last night, the UConn Huskies, they are ranked second. They are undefeated. They are 13-0, 2-0 in the Big East, and they are doing big things. 84-73 over Georgetown. Arizona over Montana State, 85-64. The Hurricanes that you just heard JF speak glowingly about defeated the 6th-ranked Virginia Cavaliers. They were my pick to win the ACC, 66-64. Alabama beat Jackson State. That's probably why we don't see Jay the Wakandan tech support. They beat them by 20. It was bad. Jackson State
not by 40.
1-11 to start the year. We'll get it. He'll pop up here. They have a coach that Mo Williams. Anyway, Gonzaga beats Montana 85-75. Baylor beats Northwestern State 58-48. Duke loses, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Duke loses. Man, that brings a smile to my face. Wake Forest 81, Duke 70. The upset. Mississippi State falls to Drake in an upset, 58-52. The Indiana Hoosiers are ranked 18th. I've seen them now live twice. I'm not sold on them. They win against Elon 96-72, and Providence upsets Marquette. Providence 2-0 in the Big East, 10-3 on the outside looking in for top 25 rankings. Women's game last night. The best game to watch was the Michigan Wolverines versus North Carolina Tar Heels, and the Lady Tar Heels lost. The Wolverines pull up the upset, 76-98. Not really an upset. It was a back and forth game, in my opinion, outside of the first quarter. The Wolverines jumped on them in the first, dropped 35, and I realized that game was over. And I just thought about TJ and how sad he would be. The Ohio State Lady Buckeyes, 88-86, survive in overtime against the South Florida Lady Bulls. That South Florida team is good. They just don't get any national recognition. I want to shout them out. They're 10-4. Utah over Weber State, Stanford over Creighton, and UCLA over Fresno State, ladies and gentlemen, by almost 40, 82-48. The UCLA Lady Bruins are a serious team, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. There we go. We are up here with Malika Walker, and we're going to go to her next after this. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we are brought to you by our sponsor, slamgoods.com. Head over to slamgoods.com, use our promo code HoopSpaces, save 15%. And might I suggest that you pick up, a year subscription. It's $20 essentially, $19.97 I thought it was the last time I saw. And if you use the promo code, you'll save 15% off of that, and you'll get it mailed to your house, or you'll get it digitally. Some of the best coverage about the game outside of the court over at slamgoods.com. Also, if you miss any of the show, you can catch it on YouTube. We are there in its entirety, so you can get all the context. Powered by Audiolabs.io. And shout out to our other partners, FansView app and Playback TV. Something else for you creators to dive into. FansView offers you the opportunity to win and bid for actual post-game player interviews. And if you ever want to watch basketball with me to see what it's like, we'll be getting the Playback TV up and running back after the holidays. It's just been real hectic, and I just haven't been able to have the time, but we already talked. Coming up, got a lot more to talk about in terms of the NBA. We're going to move off of the Wiseman thing. We've got DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix and Zach LaVine in Chicago to talk about. But first, shout out to Sed once again. Make sure you shoot him a follow. He'll be on Knicks Chat a day after. I am Halito coming up at 12. And shout out to Sean, who's been there for every step of the way, building from live from the Mecca. Both of these two men have reached a measure of success that we all should just celebrate. So we'll go to Malika first, host of the Rewind Pod, getting ready to come to you where all podcasts pod. Malika, good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to say I supported the hoodie and the and the mug, but I would like to suggest that we have one page with all Hoop Spaces. I feel like I wouldn't have to pay for a mug if I got the hoodie and the mug at the same time. So at least, one page of Hoop Spaces merch. Thank you. Because I paid for shipping on my mug, and I just got, the heebie-jeebies because of it. But I was glad to support. And I don't know. Last night's games were underwhelming on TNT. And trust me when I say this, I am not a Knicks fan. I am not a Knicks fan. But last night's game, even though the Warriors were losing by 20, it was like they were allergic to talking about the Knicks, and to the point where I guess their research team got them some information, and then they started talking about them a little bit more. But still, they really didn't give any attention to the Knicks. I thought that was a little. It was so obvious last night. The next thing I wanted is the Suns arguing. I keep seeing multiple things on DeAndre Ayton. One thing is that's normal. I keep seeing that's normal, and then I also see there's trouble in Phoenix. So I was curious with what really is it? And then James Wiseman, I mean, I think, didn't the Warriors know that James Wiseman was going to be a project? He barely played college ball. Um, like, to give up on him, to me is kind of soon. He was injured, like he missed a ton of time. Calling this kid a bust, I feel like you can't do that. I mean, they knew what they were investing in. If we're going by expectations of an early pick, I mean, but he was a center. Doesn't it take longer for centers to develop? I guess I feel bad for the kid. Like, like he hasn't really been given, it looks like he's too good for the G League, but he's still a tweener. Like he needs time on the floor, but how do you give it to him when you're trying to win now? I don't know. Like, yeah, the Warriors should have picked another pick. Because he's being labeled a bust when he obviously needs more time. So I don't think that's the team for him more than anything else. Because they're not ready they can't give him more time right now. But that's it. That's the only few things I wanted to say. And go Nets tonight. We'll see.
Yeah. There you go. I thought I had put it out, but I didn't. But it is now out there. There is a central link. My fault for that. Yeah, that sucks. I'll get you back on that extra shipping. We'll go to Sean. Sean, go ahead. What you got?
So, Malik, I'm glad you reminded me about that because I wasn't at the game, but I heard that the TNT broadcast was basically a Warriors fellatio session for like the whole second half. And
oh my God, they interviewed Steph for 5 to 6 minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah, I heard it was bad. Like I was looking at the timeline, I heard it was bad. But listen, these are people. Listen, Shaq and Charles, and to a lesser extent Kenny, basically tell you that like they don't follow the contenders. So you think they're watching the Knicks on a nightly basis? Absolutely not. In regards to the Wiseman thing, see, for me, the word bust does not mean you stink. It means that you are not the output. Your output is not commensurate to where you were drafted.
I agree, but they knew that though. They knew what they were getting.
Yeah, but like even people say, "Well, he's injured." It's like, well, I don't care. Like he's not giving me what they wanted. And yes, to your point, I think they got they. You know what this gives? This gives me 2004 Darko vibes, where you had this really good team that won. You had this really good team, and they had the number 2 pick in the draft, and they could have picked anybody. They could have picked Wade. They could have picked Bosch. They could have picked Melo. And they're like, let's go with this project. The last thing I want to say is that I want everybody who, if you're one of those people who crapped all over and shat all over and completely dismissed the Jim Brunson signing and said the Knicks were desperate and they overpaid for this guy and he's mid, he's not that good anymore. I want you to come outside. We just want to talk. I have an apology for him. Keep that same energy. Because now that contract looks like a fucking bargain because he's a borderline all-star. So I want everybody. I'm not, and this is not directed to Mike or the Mavs fans because they've suffered enough of Cuban's bullshit. But to all you casuals out there who don't understand ball and did not give the Knicks their credit, please come outside. We just want to talk. I promise it won't hurt.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I know they won't because they're just addicted to slander. But listen, the Knicks got this one right. The Knicks got this one exactly right. And if you don't like it, eat it.
31 games, 47% from the floor, 37 from deep, 21 points, 6 assists, 3 boards, and a steal. I remember telling everybody unequivocally, the Knicks got better. It might not look like it in the record. They got better. And like the cool part about it is they have the ability to also swing for the fences if they so desire, because they have a couple of contracts up there, like Evan Fournier at 17 mil. You could add Obi Toppin if he's not going to get in the rotation. Cam Reddish, that'll be another 13 mil. So you're looking at 30. Like that's a big swing if the Knicks want to go ahead and go out there on that trade market to actually add to the likes of Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and one Mr. RJ Barrett. All right. Thank you, everybody who's come in so far today. If you could do me the favor, like and retweet the show card, as well as shooting follows. That'll help you get up on stage. KP, your hands up will go to you. Then we'll say good morning to Bankai. The question that I have coming up on the next talk is, you have 2 young stars in DeAndre Ayton and Zach LaVine, who have just been now linked to multiple sources or stories about discontent, ineffective communication. What are we thinking? Is this something where the players might view themselves at a level that other people don't? Is there actual real issues? We'll get your thoughts after KP and Bankai. KP, go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick on the Knicks fans complaining that the broadcast wasn't talking about the Knicks. Why should they talk about y'all? When you have the best, when you have the best, when you have the when you have the best, when you have hello, when you have the best player in the league sitting on a bench in a fly ass jacket that just broke a record in that building last year, they don't care about y'all. Y'all not relevant. Y'all don't move nothing. And I just seen a winner's work video come out after that win. You know what that means? The downfall is imminent. Anytime someone says
ass busted on national television.
Every time someone says spooky or
KP
scary, hold on. You can blabber after I finish. You can blabber.
I'm the co-host now. I talk now. You be quiet. To the victor go the spoil. You got your ass busted by 38 points on national effing television. And I know that if you thought you was going to win that game, and you'd have been up here talking cash shit the entire time. So sit down and shut up. Shut it up. Shut up.
That was funny as hell. I'm not even gonna lie. KP was speechless and he had no choice.
Man,
I
Nick says
I will just say,
Apple is king.
Someone who's like worked the broadcasts, like, I know that Knicks fans were very frustrated because there was a lot of coverage of the Warriors, and they get a lot of. But the Warriors.
Hello. Can I finish my point?
No, fall back for a second.
No, you fall back. You get the hell out of here. Nobody was talking to you. You beat it, Jack. You beat it.
Fall back for 1 second. And then you can talk about how good your team is in 11th place. And by the way, they are the reigning champs, and it's totally terrific.
No. How about that? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Beat it, Jack.
Let me
hit
you with the alley-oop.
Goodbye.
I'm trying to set you up.
Goodbye, KP. Goodbye. We'll bring you back up. We'll bring you back up when you can behave. Go ahead, Nick.
I don't know. The point I wanted to make, and it actually I think goes to kind of what he was saying, is there's only 2 teams from a ratings perspective that have moved the needle over the last
And he got a phone call. Nick,
Are those teams based in California?
oh, yeah, I think he ended up getting a phone call. I know one of them will be Golden State. There you go. Now you're back.
Go.
All right, now he's gone. All right. We'll
Can I
get
get
him
my
back.
good morning, Chris?
All right, we'll bring KP back up. We'll bring KP back up now. Now he can.
And it's whoever
JP,
LeBron plays for. That's.
Oh,
I'm sorry about
we
that.
didn't
That's
hear
just.
anything you just said. We heard
Yeah.
nothing.
I know. I just jumped back in. It's the same thing. From being in the ratings meeting, from sitting with the NBA, there's only two teams that move the needle at a national perspective, and it's wherever LeBron plays, and it's the Warriors. And so a broadcast builds a lot of content around the team that brings in the audience. And so even as a team's getting smacked, and even as the game's going the wrong way, like, they still got to get these interviews off. They still think that that's what will hold the national audience. And I think broadly they're right. And a Knicks fan base has shown that it will travel and watch a national broadcast, whether the team is good or bad, because they've been both over the last couple of years. And so that is why there's so much Warrior talk. There's a lot
Warriors
of
are the
content built
most
around the
valuable team
that
in the
draws the
league.
biggest audience.
Steph is the most popular player in the league. That's why they interviewed him. What are you talking about? Stop the BS, man, and stop interrupting me. Stop interrupting me.
That's it. But that's exactly what I'm talking about.
So don't tell me I need help. Don't tell me I need help and you're gonna assist me. You ain't John Stockton. I'm not Karl Malone. I don't need your assist. It's fine. I can handle my own business.
Stockton. We don't talk about John Stockton out here.
You don't tell me what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about what I want to. Thank you. Can I finish my point? Like I said before, whenever someone mentions, whenever someone mentions scary or spooky or it's winner's work videos start dropping, the downfall is imminent. And the Knicks, it's fine. Y'all playing okay. Y'all playing fine. When y'all lose, the tears start flowing. The complaining starts to the upheaval. People start talking about the owner again and Thibodeau and all this other stuff. It's going to be glorious. So have your fun. You won a game you're supposed to win. Just like Chris Rock. Just like Chris Rock said. You don't. Just like Chris Rock. What? Shut up.
Chris Rock reference?
Can I finish my? What are you talking about?
Warriors.
What are y'all sound like a bunch of dicks. Are y'all done?
KP is triggered.
I'm triggered by what? Because I can't
let KP
can't finish my point. Is that what we doing here?
Your point is useless.
Oh, that's fine. No, your points are useless, just like your team is useless.
Who are you gonna when Steph retires? What team?
Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about me finish my point so I can get up out. Listen, man, I hate talking about the Knicks, but I love slandering y'all fake ass team.
Well, guess what? You just
so
lost
what?
To these
Nobody
Knicks.
cares about this game but y'all.
Busted your ass by 38 points.
Ladies and gentlemen,
please. KP got nothing to say. He has nothing.
We gotta move on. Like we're more than halfway through the show.
He got nothing.
We got to move.
The Warriors. Did you know that, KP? You didn't know that either.
He did.
You did not. What are you talking about? No, they're not. Let me. Y'all are. Matter of fact,
literally looking at Forbes list right now.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Gotcha.
All right, we got John here who's still yet to say good morning, and Bankai. We'll get them in. Jasmine wants a word. JFK is good to go, and we still have yet to move to the dumpster fire that has become the Chicago Bulls, whether it's on the court or in the media, because right now they are not catching any breaks other than a victory over a shortened leash Miami Heat squad. Like every player over there is in the doghouse, it seems, as well as people actually not being there to be able to play. Let's go to John so he can get his good morning in. We got Bankai, Jasmine, JF, Coach Roach. Appreciate everybody. Let's keep it moving. John, go ahead.
Hello and good morning. It's 12:35 a.m. already, so I want to say good morning to everyone. And first things first, I want to say happy birthday to this game of basketball. Today is when James Naismith put some peach baskets up in Springfield and, you know, gave birth to what we all love to talk about today. First things first. I'm in a good mood today because my alma mater won a championship on Monday. So I'm really, really happy about that. I was listening to how, Sean was taking his victory lap earlier, and it was, I have to say that, we're still in the conference of mid. So everybody is still in contention and everybody's still, figuring things out. I mean, who would know that, the Suns would lose to the Washington Wizards and whom we beat earlier. And, and then we have the Grizzlies and the Nuggets basically tied for first in the Western Conference at a 19-11 record. So, and we're just like what, around a couple of games back, and hopefully we get everyone healthy for the first time in quite a while. So we're playing the Malika likes Hornets later, I think, at around the 10:30. So hopefully we can get everything straight. And for the Wiseman talk, I mean, that 2020 draft wasn't exactly an ideal draft to get a big man. I mean, I looked at the draft, and you wouldn't take Isaac Onyeka Konwu second overall. I think they could have taken Patrick Williams if they, if they were thinking about it. I mean, the next big man was Jalen Smith at 10. The next following big man was Isaiah Stewart at 16. Poku was 17. I mean, Precious Achua was 20. You're not going to be picking that at 2. So, I mean, that basically means you're probably looking at LaMelo Ball, maybe Isaac Okoro, maybe Obi Toppin. So, like, you don't visualize yourselves talking about, drafting that fit, uh, given who their lineup was back in 2020. So I think that they made the right decision. It's just that James got hurt, and his progress is slower than what they anticipated. So I feel that we would like I would like to see them continue to develop him in the G League, but uh, I don't know if he's actually mentally able to take the learning process that comes with the being playing down there, and putting up monster numbers. That what kind of monster numbers where you want him to do, like what Musa Diabate did the other day, like 2025. That's that what the numbers that you want James to be putting up to. So we'll see. I mean, if you want to trade him, even yeah, you need to fit contracts for like what a Vucevic or Patrick Williams, maybe for a young guy, or someone from Orlando from their million bigs. So I think the Warriors probably know what they're doing with James. And I would like to hear about this whole Suns thing because this is a very interesting situation, especially with Da and Mikal Bridges, who's also from the same alma mater as their new owner. By the way, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Um, to see, I guess, in real time, fractures in a locker room that spill over, whether it's the beginnings of like a rift between the front office that kind of metastasizes. Maybe it's incompatibility in terms of personality, like we've seen it before. I'm getting 99 Rockets vibes from Phoenix. I think DeAndre Ayton is absolutely incensed because in his mind, one or more people cost him money, and I think that's really where the issue now lies beyond what his play is or is not. You have to understand, like, when you are a player and a team owns your bird rights, like, they're the only team that can give you the true max. And he believed he was deserved of the true max, and he believes it was negatively decisions were made that impacted him negatively and put in a position where he couldn't earn what he believes was his value. The Zach LaVine incident is also interesting. There's rumors coming out that the Bulls front office don't really view him as an impactful leader. There's also issues within the locker room that are apparently centered around his slumping defense. And look, players are human, and their game is subject to ebbs and flows, just like everybody's daily life is subject to ebbs and flows. But let's be honest, like Zach LaVine was never an elite defender. And sometimes you end up taking the charge as the leader, and you have to up and improve your game, a la Steph Curry. And he has yet to do that in terms of defense. And I think a lot of his teammates are questioning his effort. And that's totally normal in a vacuum. But now when you're talking about successive years of the same play, that is concerning. And what even makes it stand out a little bit more to me is, again, how they gave him a 4-year contract extension and Billy Donovan, but then they chose not to announce Billy Donovan's until like 90 days later. All right, lots of hands to come up and talk. We're going to go next to Bankai real quick. We got Coach Roach to go. Then we'll go around the room, starting with Malika, Jasmine, Evan Townsend, and JFK, talking about the Phoenix Suns. Appreciate it, everybody. Let's go, Bankai.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Sean, Malika, Evan, Anthony, everybody in the room. I'm here for one reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 of them
things, right? 8 of them. Count them up, right? Where did KP go? I had some words for KP, but it seems like he left just like his team did yesterday at MSG. They didn't feel like playing on the court. He didn't feel like, taking the heat off the court. Sucks for him. I don't want to hear any excuses about, Stephen Curry was out, Andrew Wiggins was out, because damn right, if the Warriors had won that game, you would have heard all this shit talk about the Knicks. Oh, the Knicks are not real. Oh, the Knicks are ass. Oh, it was only a mirage. They didn't deserve to win 7 straight. I already know that whole story, right? So it doesn't matter who's in front of us. We're going to play whoever it is, and we're going to beat them. So that's it.
And they thought they were going to win. I know they thought they were going to win that game. I know they did.
For sure. KP and Nat would have flipped that whole story. Oh, you see how cohesive the Warriors are? We don't need Steph. We don't need Steph Curry.
Come on now.
We don't need Steph
Curry. Let's leave that alone. Let's leave that alone.
Respectfully,
she's not.
Chris.
She's not here.
Chris.
Let's not put words in her mouth.
But she would have did it. But she's not here.
Yesterday, but it was all friendly. Chris, it's not no animosity.
KP would get this work though.
But
yeah,
it's all in good fun. But yeah, no, I'm serious though. We would have heard all different stories about the championship pedigree and all that stuff on why they would have won that game. And just one more thing I got to say, that TNT coverage was absolutely disgusting. Shout out to Malika for pointing it out. Last night.
Hey, hold on. Not too much on my
bro. The Knicks are on a 7-game. The Knicks are on a 7-game win streak, trying to go for 8, and we're sitting here watching a Steph Curry interview for almost damn near the whole second quarter, which honestly most of us didn't even want to hear. Like, just focus on the game. And then you got these guys talking mostly about the Warriors, not really giving the Knicks any credit. Gaslighting, what's his name? Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, I get it. The first time with the Jokic thing, it was funny, fine. But they just kept egging it on. It sounds like you're just making a mockery of the guy. Like, when all he's doing out there is trying to play hard and, is throwing some nice passes and stuff. Like, I get it. A lot of you don't like the Knicks. Fine. But you know what? How about you give us a little bit of respect? Because I hear a lot of people talking about the Knicks a lot when we're losing, when we're shit, when things are not going right. But when we're winning, people don't want to say a word. They disappear. They turn into ghosts. So how about you give us some credit? Because
I sure hope you don't lose to the Raptors tonight.
It doesn't.
We're gonna.
It doesn't matter anyway. You know why? Because winning 8 games in a row is no easy feat. And if anybody could do it, they would have been doing it right now, right? It doesn't matter who you're playing against. You just play whoever's on your schedule, whoever's healthy. Doesn't matter. So give us some credit. Come on.
Oh no, I have.
I know you do.
And now, Sean, you are correct. The Knicks are the hottest team in the NBA. 9-1 in their last 10.
Chris, I know.
They were
Congratulations.
Chris, I know you
They're
always give
how
us
did
credit
listen.
because you're
That
you're
ain't hard to
fair.
figure out, Chris.
I'm talking about all the people who like to talk about the Knicks unprovoked and have all this shit to say when we're losing, but when we're winning, they don't want to
Knicks
say
for
anything.
clicks, motherfuckers.
Why, guy? It's so hostile. So hostile.
Well, listen, bro. You have to,
Because
so
we're in
so
New
here's
York.
here's the
We're
funny
in New
thing though,
York.
Chris. And here's the funny thing, because everyone makes this big deal about everyone in the media makes this big deal about how the
82 in their
Knicks
last.
front office don't talk and they don't get access and da 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 da. But and we're like, we don't care, because when you have the opportunity to cover the team properly, you don't. You go for banter, you go for clicks. So y'all claim to be journalists and you're supposed to be objective and call it down the middle, and you don't. So guess what? Listen, we are the wrong people to play this game with. We are the wrong people to play this game with. That's why KP ran away with his tail between his legs. That's why these people ain't around.
Listen, we're like
No,
Voltron.
you don't
We're
get.
like Voltron. You talk shit
Yes.
about us like that, we come together and we come after you.
As a Philly fan, I know you because if you were from Philadelphia, you'd understand. But y'all the same. It's the same thing.
Oh no, I get it. I
Chris
think
could be talking smack if the shit is way in the road too. Like,
what do you look? But see, you don't have to understand. You have to understand. If we were to be 8 in a row, it would just be because of Doc
you be
Rivers'
talking about
greatness.
how chill out. See, I knew it was coming. Chill out.
They're playing the Raptors later.
Yeah. Let's get some hands up here. Coach Roach has been waiting. Coach, appreciate you. What you got? And then after you, we're going to go to Malika, then Jasmine, then Evan Townsend and JFK. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
It's lively today.
Yes, it is. And you were just mentioning about the Raptors. I know they're playing the Knicks tonight. You have one team trending in one direction towards Chicago and Washington, and the Knicks are trending up. If you asked me this question at the first of the year, I would have said it might have been the opposite, that the Raptors would be trending up and then the Knicks might be hovering around 500 or lower. But as much talk as there's been about Chicago blowing their team up, there's a lot of talk in Raptor land too about what moves might be coming for them. I know Gary Trent is up at the end of this year. He's been in trade rumors with Golden State, who I heard earlier. There's been some talk about Fred VanVleet as well. Getting a lot of injuries right now too. And, I've been a proponent of that team being patient till they get some guys back, but had some good friends talk me, well, the season's going to be running out soon, and you don't want to be caught in no man's land in the draft. You don't want to be 12th or 13th when you have a chance to be 4th or 5th in the deep draft. So certainly it's a big game tonight, not only for the Knicks, but also the Raptors. Every game for a team that's in either Toronto or Chicago's position is a big game moving forward. I'm just wondering what your guys' thoughts are on what's going on in Toronto and Chicago as well. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate the question. Everybody can answer that when we get to you. We're going to just go to the hands first. But I did put up another poll because this is an interesting question, because I actually think DeAndre Ayton would work well in Toronto. So I ask you, should the Toronto Raptors make a move for DeAndre Ayton, who is just absolutely just not in a good place in Phoenix? We'll go to Malika Walker first and Jasmine after her. We'll hit up Evan Townsend and JFK. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Did the Phoenix Suns just sign him? Because I said something earlier about some people in the timeline are saying like that type of disagreement is normal. Like, so yeah, it's something there, right? Did they just sign him to make sure he doesn't leave for free? Because they didn't want it's like he's not wanted there.
It sure seems like it.
But he's still there. So like now he's eligible to be traded since December 15th, right? Or is it February? Like when can he be traded?
I'll look into it. I want to say he's able to be traded now.
But he can't be traded to the Pacers for a year.
Correct, because they offered the
offer sheet
contract.
Yeah, so basically, Malika, he wanted the max. They didn't want to give him the max. He felt disrespected. He went out and got the offer sheet. But because he's restricted, obviously they had the opportunity to match, and they were never going to let him walk for nothing. So they're just like, all right, if you think you can get more money, go out and get more money. We can just match if we want to. So that's what happened. But he's pissed.
Is he really worth the match though?
Isn't it almost like a Jalen Brunson and Dallas situation where like he got offered less than what he
No,
thought, except like Jalen Brunson didn't kind of like, I guess blow it
Well,
away?
no,
is he worth the mess though?
because the way Dallas did his initial rookie contract put Jalen Brunson in unrestricted free agency.
Okay, got it.
But with his contract versus like say look at like I don't know like Mo Bamba, right? Like wouldn't the Raptors want Mo Bamba over DeAndre Ayton?
To me, it goes into potential
No.
fit, and I would say that if you put DeAndre Ayton in Toronto, like you would see Jonas Valanciunas, but even more effective. So, like, I think he walks into Toronto and gives you 20 and 15 every night almost. Like,
Who's headed to Phoenix actually?
I mean, like that's the problem. Is what is Phoenix's value versus what the league views as Phoenix's value,
That's
right?
why it's my question. Like that's why I was like, it may be, it may makes more sense. But somebody said no Mo Bamba on Toronto. Okay.
Oh yeah, that was Coach Roach down below. Let him get his
still,
answer.
if they don't mind me just stepping in here for a second, I'm just taking a guess here, but Phoenix would want OG Anunoby. Zach Lowe was on the podcast yesterday and said how all the teams kind of want him, and I see that, but don't see Toronto giving him up, him or Pascal or Scotty Barnes. I just don't see how a deal would work there personally with Ayton. And just personally last night, we know that Ayton has been it's been a lot of contention with Monty Williams. I don't know if the Raptors be interested in that. Is he going to be fighting with Nurse all the time? So I just don't see them. Good player, don't get me wrong, but I just don't know if the Raptors would want Ayton. But it's not a bad trade idea, but I just don't see it.
Real quick. So Ayton cannot be traded until January 15th, actually.
Okay.
But he can veto any trade until July 15th. So he will probably be Phoenix this year, but he's absolutely out of here after this year, to me.
Yeah, he can veto
any trade until July 15th, and he cannot be traded to the
July.
Pacers.
He may not be. Okay, July 15th.
Yeah, that's the 1 year expiration. I again, DeAndre Ayton, I believe, has just a unfair reputation. If you take out the actions that he's had in Phoenix and sometimes the play that you think might be subpar, he's human and he's probably as frustrated, but like he's the second most efficient player on that team behind Devin Booker, right? Like there's value there. And once again, if you look at Toronto, what's wrong with Toronto? They don't have anybody in the middle. He plugs that hole, walks in and gives you a minimum of 17 and 10. And I think he gives you more than 17 and 10 just because of the fact he'll be out of Phoenix. And then on top of that, he's going to have another big in Pascal Siakam who'll give him the ball because Pascal, he passes the ball. Like Fred VanVleet needs to pass the ball like Pascal Siakam, like he did last year. Santa Rosa came up. She wants to get in and on here, but we're going to go to Jasmine for her thoughts first. Then we'll let Santa Rosa cut the line. Then we'll go to Evan Townsend, JFK, and Micah. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
I can't really speak on Ayton going to the Raptors because I live in Florida, so I can't really watch Raptors games like that. Sorry. In terms of, I'm gonna do the Bulls and then I'm gonna go to Phoenix. In terms of the Bulls, I think that Zach and DeMar are kind of similar in that offensive game. Just checked over their stats. What one person lacks, another person picks up. But across the board on offense, they're pretty even. But then on the defensive end, we'll give DeMar DeRozan the edge. I feel like what's happening right now in their locker room is basically like stuff they have to work out and figure out who has to be the number one or like 1A, 1B, however you want to dissect it. Kind of like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, just trying to find that chemistry without stepping on each other's toes because the reports say that they still have a good friendship. The issue is when they get onto the court. And it probably is because Zach feels like this is his team, so he should be the number one option. But then like DeMar DeRozan has these really wild, crazy, good nights. He's very consistent. He's reliable. And sometimes they'll defer to DeMar instead of Zach. And I think that's where the tension is like causing or whatever. But I mean, once they figure out essentially who's taking the last shot, I feel like Chicago will be fine. I don't think either one of them should split up, but if they do, I think Zach will probably move before DeMar does. And in terms of DeAndre Ayton, it's not surprising that he wanted the Supermax, but it's like, even though you didn't get it, you don't have to have a poor attitude about it. And I think that's what's more so affecting them than his actual play. Like you said earlier, he's the second most efficient player on the Suns behind Devin Booker. And I feel like he's pretty consistent in what he does. However, he does have his moments where he falls off. And his attitude is a poor reflection on the court. Even like the video that you posted earlier this morning with him and Monty going back and forth, you could see the bench trying to get him to like at least calm down. And he's just like, he wasn't trying to hear it. Monty wasn't even trying to get all up in his face or like whatever the conflict was at the time. I just feel like if he had a better attitude about the situation, his time in Phoenix wouldn't seem so bad. But because I feel like week after week we're hearing or seeing something new about him, like his time in Phoenix may be up. So I'm not going to say like he could go to like a Golden State Warrior and be good, but a player like him or like James Wiseman, if you take them out of their current situation and put them somewhere else, their game could probably come to life more than them just sitting in something that's not working.
I love it. I love that take. And like also because he didn't get the Supermax, that contract is going to be gold as soon as the TV deal comes in.
Definitely.
Like if you are a progressive team in the front office and you're like, hey, I can have a shot at the 6th, 7th, or 8th seed, or I can load up and have a franchise impacting center possibly locked up for 4 years at like an average of $32 million per season. Like, think about that. They just gave Jordan Poole 40. Who would you rather have? DeAndre Ayton at 32, which I think it is next year, or Jordan Poole at 43? That's the question you ask yourself, right? And you're going to see a lot of people pause and go towards Ayton. We'll go next to Evan Townsend. After Santa Rosa, so she can go ahead and respond with the DeAndre Ayton and Raptors question. Then we'll go to Evan. We got JFK, Micah, then Adaris. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead, Santa. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Chris. I was really big on Ayton coming to Toronto, especially in the off season when that whole drama with KD was going on. But I wanted to know, like, if it was possible to get him by trading Gary Trent, Ken Birch, and Malachi Flynn for him.
Nah, you're gonna have to either put in OG or Scotty.
Oh, okay.
There's no way around it. One of those two with Gary Trent would have to do it.
And Gary Trent with OG?
Oh, that's actually for salary. Unless you're wanting to trade Fred, and I don't think you're wanting to trade Fred.
Yes, I would trade Fred then.
Oh, wow!
I'm 100% on trading
Fred. Raptors Twitter is done with Fred.
Wow! I mean, I thought half.
No. It's nothing wrong with him per se. It's just that last year really put a lot on his body, thanks to Nick Nurse. And I mean, he got an all-star nod, which I felt like it was deservedly so. But that put a lot of pressure on his body, which caused injuries to his knees. And this year, he hasn't been the same. He's been very slow. You saw it with when he has to face quicker guards like Tyrese Maxey, even Kyrie Irving. They just get by him a lot quicker. And I feel like Scotty Barnes is a better passer and has better vision than Freddie. And he moves the ball quicker. I can't stand when Freddie brings up the ball. He walks really slow bringing up the ball. And he takes a long time to make his decision by dribbling out the clock. And then he'll pass it to Scotty and then expect like a Hail Mary shot. And Scotty doesn't make it. And then everybody blames Scotty for not making that shot. And I'm just like, but Scotty can't, like, he's not that player yet to make like an end of the clock, shot clock type of shot. You know, if Freddie played off the ball more, which he was playing at the beginning of the season, I don't know why he stopped doing that, and made his decisions that way, you know, directing traffic that way, moving the ball, kind of like a Warriors type of offense. That's one thing I always liked about the Warriors was how they move the ball quick and how Steph Curry, plays off the ball really well. And you heard this problem with Trae Young too. And with Freddie, I always felt like he was a shooting guard, always. And I understand that they were trying to groom him under Kyle Lowry. And Kyle Lowry, he's a great mentor, great vet. And, the Raptors thought, okay, they have their Kyle Lowry replacement, but Fred VanVleet is not Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry could make those threes. Like, if you want a three, like, give it to Kyle and then he could make it. I can't even trust Freddie to even make a three this year. His threes has been down. And if he's not doing that, he's like basically 5'11". And defenders are getting over him or people are getting past him, then what's the point of keeping him? So I rather go and trend in a more direction of building around Pascal and Scottie and keeping possibly either OG or Gary Trent and moving on from Fred. And, whether that, we draft and we tank and we draft and we try to get, a top lotto pick, or we try to do like a soft rebuild and try to get somebody like Ayton or somebody else to come to Toronto. But yeah, I'm kind of over Fred, and I think Scottie could be in that passing type of point guard role, even though his shots are not there yet, and he is making his jumpers. It's just like not at a consistent level and everything. But I do feel Fred should go. That's just my personal opinion. Sorry for speaking long.
Oh, you're fine. If you look up top, there you go. That would be a base of the potential trade. You'd have to probably work out draft pick compensation, and there probably actually have to be a third team involved just to grease the wheels, so to speak.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate it. We're going to go next to Evan Townsend. Words over at Project Spurs, getting ready for year 2 with the NBA draft coverage. Evan, good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, everybody. When I first joined the space, we were talking and slandering James Wiseman. And I love to slander some centers. I don't know if you knew that, Chris. But realistically, I can talk about him, or I can talk about the onslaught of other centers that nobody else wants on their team. And that's pretty much how I want to say it, like stalling a lot of trades. But from what I've heard, and actually from what I've heard from scouts from not just the Spurs, but from one of the lines of the Austin Spurs, James Wiseman is probably one of the last movable pieces on the trade market in terms of his actually production on the court. That's just one thing, but off the court, that's pretty much hurting his case to be moved, and it's hurting his case to even get any solid playing time. Now the Warriors are hurt. We saw Anthony Lamb get 30 plus minutes last night. Ryan Rollins, Patrick Baldwin Jr., a lot of the rookies, first time getting some good run. James Wiseman is the centerpiece for this team that could be with fully healthy. That could actually, I don't want to say contend, but could be like a top 5, top 4, and be a serious team. But he is, man, before I land this plane, from the notes that I've heard from scouts that are actually at the Santa Cruz games, the San Antonio scouts that were there, 2-3 weeks ago, we use this term called paddleboard hands, when you can't catch a lob, can't dunk a ball with one hand, your screens are really flat, you're not actually showing any aggression on the offensive glass. And people are kind of claiming.
Why are you trying to make him sound like Jan Mahinmi, man?
So this is where I need to land this plane. People are kind of claiming that people at least in all the group chats that I'm in, they're claiming that he's doing this on purpose so he can stay with the Warriors, because they're trying to dump him to the worst, like a best case scenario, to a team that's trying to give him anything on anything that could be an asset. But one thing I wanted to mention is everyone can talk about how the Cavs, the Spurs days of them winning titles about a decade ago with Timothy Mozgov, with Thiago Splitter as centers, and then moved on to small ball, and then we got to have the athletic centers. Now it's kind of turned into, okay, we have to have somebody that's a solid playmaker, someone that actually sets screens, a Steven Adams, a Jonas Valanciunas, a Jakob Poeltl that can only play 24, 25 minutes, and then you get that athletic rim running, like really a small ball 4, but a skinny 5 that can knock down free throws. Pretty much someone that is, I don't want to say like a build like a Chet Holmgren, a Jackson Hayes, but someone that is a reliable free throw shooter, like I said, and someone that can guard on the perimeter and an interior. I'm not going to talk much about this draft right now, but in terms of Wembanyama, in terms of Kyle Filipowski, in terms of other guys, that's what the new NBA is kind of going towards. And anybody on the lines of that that's not that, their stock is tanking severely. So that's all I got for today. And in terms of the market, that's exactly what's going to go on as well. You're not going to see DeAndre Ayton get moved. Nobody's going to want him. He's an asset that is, I mean, from last night, you could see his body language. He's not, I don't even know where to go from this, man. You can just tell nobody wants him. He's a Miles Turner. He's on the lines of just a lazy, I don't want to say cone, but I don't even know what to say here.
I see. I don't agree. I think they're different players, and I think Miles Turner views himself as a wing big, and I think DeAndre Ayton just wants out of Phoenix. Like, remember, like that's where he lived his entire basketball life. Sometimes you just gotta go, right? Like, I don't know about y'all. I grew up differently. I moved every year until I was like 11, right? Like, this is the longest I lived in one place in my life. And I tell you, every day I wake up and I'm like, man, San Antonio's looking really nice.
I think it's just a culture thing in Phoenix. Okay, so you would obviously look at Chris Paul being the leader, being the vet in the locker room. Okay, they can dance, listen to NBA YoungBoy and, vibe and, winners work, have that whole culture thing of them going on. But, when it's time to snap into reality and lock in and, they're still messing around and still, it's not just social media antics that I'm seeing that from what we're seeing from the outside looking in, but it's more on the lines of just having respect for each other as men and having respect for each other and locking in and having a role that you want to fulfill. DeAndre Ayton probably wants to be a 25 and 12 guy and be a third-team All-NBA and be an All-Star, and he's not like that. He's not that just quite yet. Well, everyone knows that except for him.
I will say this though, like it's funny how there's only one person we are speaking of tangentially here, and that's Chris Paul. Because we look at the history of Chris Paul, this happens every team that Chris Paul has been on, dating all the way back to Wake Forest. Go try to tell me I'm lying, because I'm not. We haven't even talked about that.
About him choking?
Well, that, because it's not Doc Rivers' fault. And the fact that he is a person who feeds into dysfunction at times. We've seen it on the Clippers, the Rockets, and the Suns. Whether it was him and Devin Booker when he first got there, him and Ayton, whether it was him and Westbrook and literally half of the other team. And then, in the end, Blake Griffin wasn't up there trying to rep Chris Paul when he went to Detroit, y'all. Did y'all forget about that? He was like, yeah, I'm here now. There was nothing mentioned of his previous teammate. Just throwing that out there. JF, you're up next. We'll go to Micah, Anthony, Bonkai, Darius. We got another 50 minutes of showtime. After JF, I'm going to hit a reset here, give a read, give the schedule, and then we still have some Levine to talk about since, I think the biggest question is, if you had the ability to trade for him, would you? We'll get there. JF, go ahead and knock out the last of the segment.
Yeah, Chris, before I start, random thing, Ty Jerome has now been drafted by the team of white guys who are black, like with him and Tyler Johnson. I didn't even know he was black, but shouts out to Ty Jerome. But moving on to DeAndre Ayton, I think the price of Kunk is way too high in Arizona. They get dried out before they even touch the airport, so I don't know if he wants to stay there. Look, Kunk salad is amazing, Chris. If you haven't tried it, make sure you get extra spice, extra lemon, extra lime, trust me, I would not want to be in Phoenix if they didn't have any Kung salad either. But other than that, Chris, I think this season is a bunch of mid. If the Knicks are on a 7-game win streak, and it's no discredit to the Knicks, I just think
8.
everybody is having their downfalls.
8,
Oh,
not
eight.
7.
Sorry. But you know what? I am counting on them to win tonight against Toronto, so we can go ahead and have those Toronto fans keep on crying, because what I just heard is that the Miami Heat don't want to trade for Kyle Lowry because they want to get rid of Fred VanVleet. Maybe they should have kept Kyle Lowry. Maybe he could have got a little bit
Thank
smarter.
you.
He could have got better condition. He's still a smarter player than Fred VanVleet. I see it changing because
Kyle Lowry was a free agent,
I know, but you could have kept him.
and we won with Precious Achua. So, what are you talking
No,
about?
we won with the Kyle Lowry because we needed that point guard, and even though he wasn't
You
at
guys were just
18%
complaining
under,
about him last year and all up
of
until
course,
this year,
because his
until
condition.
like he started like doing something for you guys.
Of course, yeah,
Like,
because
stop.
we have proper things. We have things set in line. When you join the Miami Heat, you gotta go through a conditioning test. It's probably one of the most grueling things to do. You gotta get under 18% body fat. Kyle Lowry wasn't there at that time. That it can attest to some of his downfall. But since he's under that 18%, he's on the South Beach diet, straight, protein, no carbs. He's been doing a lot better. He's actually been playing a lot more minutes, and he's been doing a lot better with the time that he got. So I say that we won that trade. Even if we haven't for the next 2 to 3 years, he's still going to produce at the level that we need him to produce at. While Tyler Hero, Bam start excelling, and Jimmy's still doing his thing. But I have to say, I kind of like what the Knicks are doing. Haven't heard a lot from the Knicks, but I just know that there's going to be some big news or something that's going to happen. Because the Knicks are winning. Last time the Knicks were winning that, was famously heard about was when OJ was speeding off in the Broncos.
You mean it was 2 years ago, bro?
Or it could have been anywhere, but I just know big news is coming. So I'm waiting for it. The Knicks are winning, big news is coming. So we're gonna get a shocker, Chris. But
I know Miami Heat is
the funniest part, JF, right, is like people like we talk too much Knicks. And it's like, it ain't me. Like, y'all always take shots at the Knicks, and then the Knicks fans, like, they will always answer. And like, and it's so like, why?
I know
they're better than you.
Talking about us right now. You got some damn.
I'm just saying. Well, first of all, I know, man, because I'm still counting 3 rings in the last 10 years. It's okay, but
you're not doing anything right now.
That, when
you sound like a Cowboys fan.
I know. Man, if we're the Cowboys, then I don't even know what y'all are. Y'all just nothing at this point.
It is.
Don't you got to start a GoFundMe page for Kyle Lowry's BBL, 4th BBL?
As long.
Oh, jeez, stop it.
James Dolan is part of the Backstreet Boys, and he's doing his amateur rock band with Nick Nurse, then I don't see these two teams going anywhere. And I think we got to see the band play instead of those 2 teams. Let's go watch the band.
Yo, I tell you, man, the Miami Heat and the Dallas Mavericks were in this position last year. And like they have the ability to again go on a winning streak of their own. Like, so just make sure that it doesn't happen to you. Because, like, I know the Sixers aren't going on an 8-game win streak. Like, we'll tap out at 6. Like, we will always tap out at 6. And I'm cool with that. I don't even want to see the game tonight against Detroit because I'm worried if I watch it, right, the greatness will just be too much to handle from Doc Rivers. All right, we're going to go.
Chris, I just want to say, I did say I want the Knicks to win tonight against Toronto. Please.
Well, yeah, but you kind of said it because, like, Knicks fans also, you're reveling on the Raptors' downfall.
I love Knicks fans too, but how long do we want this win streak to last?
I'm here for it. Like,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny? On Sunday after we beat the Pacers, I said 10 straight is on the table going into Christmas Day. And it's actually on the table. Now, of course, because I've been calling the Raptors mid for the last 2 months, watch us lose tonight. It would be my luck.
I am here for it. And now it's time to hit this button. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for spending any part of your hump day here with us on Hoop Spaces. It's awesome to see growth, and it's awesome to see consistency. And one of those things that I try to stay consistent with is asking you to like and retweet the show card. It really is the only currency that we can get. 35 people have decided to help me out today, and I want to say thank you to you individually as those 35. And I want to remind you as that 35 that did that because we've had over 200 people in the room throughout the show. The 35 people are the reason why we have our sponsor. Slamgoods.com, right? That's our sponsor. They said, hey, we love what you're building here. Show us that you can build more. And maybe we'll come back with other stuff. And you can head over there and show them that we are continuing to build what we have here into something bigger and better by using our promo code HoopSpaces and save 15% off of your entire purchase. So whether you do get one of those Funko Pop dolls or whether you get a cover that you can get either pre-framed or you do what I do, frame it yourself, or you get the Rewind series and go back in time, they have a way to express your fandom. So head over there to slamgoods.com and tell them that we sent you by using the promo code HoopSpaces to save 15% off of all your purchases. Yeah, that's pretty dope. And then don't forget, right, the hoodies are live, the mugs are live, and the plushies are live. So
I just bought a hoodie.
Oh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm about to order mine in a minute.
And the plushie is just like cute. My son wanted to make it, so we made it. Like, check it out if you got kids. Shout out to Malika for alerting me that the link for the actual just store wasn't out there. I thought I did, and when I looked at it, I tweeted it to my Twitter circle, which nobody is in. I have 0 people, and I had completely forgotten about Twitter circle until somebody randomly put me in their circle, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Shout out Twitter.
What's the private stuff?
Oh yeah, and yeah, Chris, thanks for finally tweeting the actual full link. I
My
see
fault.
it now.
My fault. That's my bad. I'm gonna give myself this.
Wait, Quentin Grimes is down for tonight? Oh man, the foolishness has started. Here we go.
All right. Let me get Micah in here. Let me get Darius in here. Then we're gonna go up to Anthony. We're gonna let Anthony get his little Nick rant in. Then we're gonna go into the schedule tonight. We got a full slate of games. Love to get to it. We'll go to Micah. Micah, go.
Yeah, real quick. So I think somebody already beat me to the punch. So Aiden has veto power over any trade. So if it's not where he wants to go, he can just say hell with it. You know, so. But yeah, so there's that, and I am hoping for the Knicks win tonight because I like to see them succeed. You know, I'm liking it. It's cool. And anytime we can remind that cheapo that he should have paid him instead of buying more crypto, it's a good thing. So I'm enjoying it, man. So no slander from me. I was slandering at the start of the season because they was kind of picking at me about how our cheap ass owner just let him walk out the door and didn't even try to do a sign and trade because he was butthurt. But that's another thing. So, and another is looking at so for anybody that was saying that that Jalen Brunson was overpaid, dude, this is 2022. Okay, he is getting third option money, and I think a lot of people are trying to get over trying to jump spaces and microwave team building when they say, well, he can never be a second option. Okay, maybe you're right. Could he be the third option on a championship team? Absolutely, because I have seen his exact same prototype as the third option win 6 championships. So I just think that's something that people need to pay attention more whenever they say that somebody is overpaid. You want to talk about overpaid? We're about to talk about overpaid here in a second. And God, it would be so Maverick, and I can see it coming down the pipe. I have this just horrific feeling that we're going to talk ourselves into 43 for Zach LaVine, but didn't want to give 24 to Jalen Brunson. It's just going to be disgusting. But that's all I got for right now, Chris.
Go ahead and get you on mute because I know you're out there working. Stay warm, man. Like it's cold out there. All right. He's been waiting. He figured out what he needed to do. He is now back on the stage. Darius, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing today?
We have a lively show. The Knicks are winning. The clicks are no longer clicking because the Knicks are winning, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
But the haters keep on hating.
Okay, so for me, I'm gonna just start off by saying I'm not gonna be talking about the Knicks. Like I'm not gonna try to slander the Knicks. What I'm just gonna tell you right now is the Jalen Brunson signing was a good signing this year. Like that's like one of the most underrated signings of the offseason. I feel like that loss against the Mavericks when you guys lost that third quarter by 30 or something, you guys were scoring a bucket. That was like a wake up call. It's like you guys are going back on the basics, like playing defense. I noticed that Tom Thibodeau he had a tight rotation. He played like 8-man. He played more of the younger guys, which I wish Nick Nurse did. And certain parts of the season, I know we're not playing those type of we don't play mostly our young guys, but you guys, you have to, as a coach, you got to be creative and try new things. In terms of the Knicks, I feel like they're still going to be a playing team. I understand you guys are on a 8-game winning streak, but I don't think that you guys are going to surpass. I mean, like, not what's the word again? You guys are.
I thought you were going to talk about the Knicks. No, I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
No. I'm giving you guys credit. Then I just started off by talking.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay, cool. So I'm just saying, like, I don't think you guys are going to be. You guys are not going to be a 6 seed. You guys are probably going to be a playing team. I feel like the Hawks, the Heat are going to probably make moves to upgrade their rosters. And even the Raptors too. I feel like we just have to make margin over improvements. Maybe trade somebody. We need a shooting guard that can shoot downhill. We need like a center. So, you guys are probably going to lose today. I'm being honest with you guys. You guys are going to lose by double digits, starting with that. In terms of the Nuggets, I saw a tweet today saying that the Nuggets are going to make the finals. I want to know your guys' thoughts about that. The Nuggets, they don't play defense. I don't really trust their role players in the playoffs. They're a good team regular season, but they're 25 in defensive rating right now, and they just lost to the Lakers without AD in the second half. So I don't understand like their mindset and what they're trying to accomplish. I understand they have Jokic, but teams are going to go out Jokic on defense, and it's not going to be pretty. In terms of the Raptors, in terms of the 8 trade Raptors, I think they should call up the Suns about this. I feel like they can try to get like maybe they can trade probably Fred, maybe Malachi, or even Gary for like picks. The Suns, they don't have a power forward, so that means it's going to be very difficult for them to start playing Craig at the 4, and you see that Jay Crowder is not playing. So if I were them, I would call them, but I don't think they're going to trade OG or Scotty for them personally. So that's out of the picture. But Aiden on the Raptors would be a very good signing or a very trade for them. And then, yeah, pretty much it. I have nothing else to say about that. I just feel like our team, we're 13-18. We're going to get on a winning streak sometime not this year, but next year. We were 13 and 17 during this time of the year last year, and we went on a winning streak. So we haven't won 3 straight yet, and that was due to not playing defense. As you can see, there's 5 games that we lost, 6 games that we lost. We haven't playing on defense. We don't communicate. We don't pass the ball. We have Scotty playing 1 game, 26 points a game. Now he's playing 4 minutes, like 4 points a game against the Sixers. That's unacceptable. Like that's something that it's like we don't have a consistent effort. So once we get back to the basics and start playing defense the way that we're supposed to be playing, we're gonna start winning these games. So we're still gonna be a top 6 seed. We just have to make marginal improvements. The Knicks are a good team. I feel like they're going to be a playing team, but like I said, they're not better than the Hawks. They're not better than the Knicks. They're not better than the Heat. They're not better than the Raptors, in my opinion. So we got to make more trades, and we got to be in that contention of the 6th seed. That's my ceiling, and I'm going to end it off there.
All right, appreciate it. You might not like it, but they are definitely better in the standings, and that's all that
Yeah,
really matters.
standings for now. But I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
once we make trades, we're gonna once the Heat are probably gonna make a trade. The Hawks are gonna probably make a trade. The Raptors are gonna probably make a trade. And once we do that, then they're gonna fall off. Their regression is gonna hit hard for you
Can,
guys, and you guys
can,
are gonna watch
real,
out.
real
Watch out
quick
for that.
response. Real quick response.
Okay, go ahead.
Preseason, I had the Hawks in the play-in. That's where they are. I had the
The
Heat in the
plane. Okay.
play-in.
Okay.
I had the
Plane.
Heat in the play-in. That's where
Okay.
they are. I
Cool.
had you guys in the top 6. I had the
That's
Knicks in the
true.
play-in. I had the Knicks in the play-in. I actually
Okay.
have a bet that the Knicks would. I actually have a bet that the Knicks would finish in the play-in. It will be absolutely hilarious if I lose my bet because they finished 6th. But I don't think the Hawks and the Heat are moving up. I think you guys will move up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying you guys are probably gonna be like a 9th seed. The Hawks. No offense.
7. The Hawks.
8,
Oh,
7 or 8
the
maybe.
Hawks.
Who knows?
Oh, the
7 or
Hawks.
8.
Come
I
on.
personally think they will be 7th seed.
Yeah, we're gonna be the 6th seed.
For the Knicks,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
it
I don't trust
just
you guys right now.
depends.
Sorry.
But
You
if the
don't trust
Raptors
us?
start
That's crazy.
trending up,
I don't trust you guys.
What's
You guys
really
are,
funny?
you guys
That's
won
real
games.
funny.
Listen, I'm being honest with you guys. You guys won games where the first best
Here
player
we
out.
go again with that
See,
So you know,
silly
the
it's
the
like
issue
the only win that you guys won.
the issue that I have is when you say these teams, you are backing a team who can't play defense. Like the Atlanta Hawks cannot play defense. DeJounte Murray can play defense individually. DeAndre Hunter can individually. Clint Capella can get rebounds individually. They are giving up 115 points per game. They give up the most points per game in the Eastern Conference. Like, that is bad. Very, 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 very bad. It ain't getting better.
Okay, so I'm just gonna end it off. I just wanted to debate at that point. We're probably gonna be a 6th seed, but we just gotta make a little bit of a trade on the deadline. And I know you guys are gonna be. I'm not saying you guys are a bad team. I'm just saying as of right now, you guys are playing in the level of like you guys are. It's like a wake up call type of thing where you guys notice what you guys lost to the Mavericks. You guys are playing in a way that's more cohesive. You guys are passing the ball more. I watched the Knicks. I watched the games and I watch how you guys play. I'm just saying, like, for right now, you guys are probably gonna be a 7th seed, 8th seed max. But in my opinion, the Hawks or the Heat are gonna pass you guys in the standing. Like, not standings, but you guys are probably gonna be a 7th seed. But I trust the Heat to be. I trust the Heat's coach to make more adjustments in the half court offense later on in the season. So, like I said, I'm just gonna end it off with there. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Knicks fans about this. But like I said, that's pretty much my take for today. The Raptors are winning today, by the way. So your streak is over, guys.
We are so gonna lose tonight. Oh,
okay, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. Though.
Cam Reddish come back.
I'm gonna come back tomorrow, though.
Fucker say you're gonna be a playing team. We're gonna be true.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The poll is up. Who finishes with the better record, the Knicks or the Hawks? Vote and retweet because I think a lot of people just don't like the New York Knicks, man. Like, I don't get it, but it is unfortunately true. Anthony, go ahead. Like, I know you got something you want to say about the Knicks. Go ahead, get it out now. We'll get Bankai's Knicks take out as well because he, of course, has to respond as well. And we got more basketball to talk with Malika Walker and Micah, and I want to give some shout-outs down below. So go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, I ain't got much to say. No, haters gonna keep hating, but let them keep on hating. I'm getting there. They want to be us, but they can't be us. That's all I'm goddamn say. All right, that's it. That's it. Go ahead, Bankai. Okay.
Bankai, you there?
Yo,
Oh, man.
I didn't even hear Chris say. Hold up, I didn't even hear Chris say my name.
I pass it, Bankai. I pass it to you, though.
You unforced error. Ant was over here giving you mad easy layup, and you missed the button.
Still running that sidekick phone quality, so it's hard to understand.
You missed the bunny, Bankai. Just go do some mic intros.
Okay. Anyways, this space is recorded, right? Just double checking, so I could go back to that.
Yeah.
The Heat are gonna climb up over the Knicks, and the Hawks are gonna climb over the Knicks. Just double checking.
That was me, by the
I,
way. That's what I'm the one
yeah,
that
I
said
know. I
that.
could see
Yeah.
that. Anyways, I thought I'd never see the day. I never thought I'd see the day where like Raptor fans would get sick of Fred VanVleet and call for trading him. I would have never guessed that. Uh, Especially after calling him all defensive guard earlier in the season. I'm actually shocked.
There are Raptor fans who have been not like who haven't been liking Fred VanVleet for a long time now. It's
Like, I'm not
just,
even taking a
you
shot
know.
at you guys. I'm actually just really surprised because
No. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Just putting out
yeah,
there.
because usually the Raptor fans I've seen have nothing but nice things to say about Fred VanVleet, and they love him, right? So to hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, it's time to trade him," is actually pretty shocking. Um, and Chris, a question for you. So on DeAndre Ayton, ultimately, where do you think he's gonna land? Ultimately, if you had to guess.
There's no guess.
No.
Majiri liked him coming out the draft. He's been linked to Toronto twice before. He's been linked to Indiana twice. He signed like the offer sheet. They can't trade for him. If he's still there and available for trade, I'm sure they would trade for him. So you got that. Charlotte could be in the mix because they need a big. They like Nick Richards, but they don't view him necessarily as the perfect complement to LaMelo Ball. Even the Miami Heat have been, tertiary linked to a potential, getting of DeAndre to put Bam more as a offensive four. I think that's a little bit more clunky, but that was also during a time when CP3 was down and Miami was just not liking Kyle Lowry.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we don't know. The big money would be on the field, as opposed to an individual team.
I know you heard about the Quentin Grimes being doubtful tonight. If he has to miss any extended time by any crappy chance, do not let Ty Jerome get out of New York. Do not let this man walk out of New York. I'm just saying, people. I'm just saying.
Yo, man, Ty Jerome has never received so much love on the show before. Thank you. I
So
thank you on behalf of Ty
is
Jerome.
Deuce getting the minutes?
Probably Deuce and IQ, because I'm pretty sure Cam is not going to play. I'm pretty sure Evan Fournier is not going to play either. Hell, we might even see V. Mikhailo get minutes ahead of Cam and Fournier at this point.
They actually might dig up Cam Reddish tonight.
Is this a slim opportunity for Derek to come back?
No.
Nope. If anyone comes back, it'll be Reddish because of the defense.
Yeah, I think Derrick Rose is on buyout candidacy watch, or even trying to pump and get a trade. Yeah, I don't like the way it's ending for him. I still think he's a heady player that can actually offer value to a team as a backup point guard, and it's just not in New York. Micah, go ahead and go. Then we'll go up to Malika Walker. We're going to get Hoops Faces Ryan up here, and we're going to do a trivia game with just me and him called 50, 40, 90. So I'll be able to embarrass myself in front of everybody. Malika, go ahead.
I was just curious, where is Mo Bamba a fit? I was curious, Chris, like where you thought his best fit was.
Dallas.
He fits with us.
No, he doesn't.
I would say the Raptors.
He fits with us.
No, he doesn't fit with the Clippers.
We need to buy time for Musa Diabate to come in, so we need a guy.
Well, you've already got the Bamba guy. His name is Morris, and Bamba's worse than that. What are you doing?
Well, we need Zoo back to get some time off. He doesn't get time off, so
Zubac is quietly the most important Clipper. He's not getting any love.
Hey, speaking of
like
Mo
that
Bamba,
team falls apart
when is
without him.
Jonathan Isaac playing again?
I don't know, and I don't think Orlando knows. But in terms of Mo Bamba, Dallas, San Antonio, and New Orleans, I would those would be great fits for him.
Interesting.
I would love
And
to see him in New
Sean,
Orleans.
why are you putting up projected standings? Like, what is the point of that?
Because he wants to antagonize more people to talk about the
No,
Knicks.
Do you think these are valid?
I gotta
the
take credit.
projected
I gotta take credit
standings?
for what he posted today.
You
That's
think
what
I
I'm trying
called
to
it
say.
playing team? You think I called it playing team? though? Crazy.
I
So
didn't
the
say
funny,
you guys
did
not making the playoffs. I said you guys are gonna be a playing team, which means you're gonna be a 7
No, I don't
seed
think the Knicks going to be
or
a
8
playing
Guys,
team.
seed.
I
that's
think
what
they're
That's
going to
gonna
be
be
Sean
a
a
wants.
playoff
He
team.
expected to.
guys. I actually didn't put this up to antagonize about the Knicks, but when Idaris said it, I was like, it was more about the Hawks and the Raptors and everything like that. So I was like, let me just see what Basketball Reference says. I don't think the Knicks are gonna finish fourth. Like, I don't think that. I think they're gonna finish seventh. But believing in the Hawks is a decision. That's all I'm gonna say. That's a choice.
All right, I like
I
it.
was just curious because I'm looking at. I was curious about that. So that's really Jakob Poeltl. I mean, Evan, do you think he's going to be traded before the deadline? I mean, are they? I mean, I was curious about that, Evan.
Go ahead, Evan, pick it up because I think that's 100.
Ooh, with Jakob, it's interesting because you can picture him next to
I would love
Wembanyama.
Jakob on the Nets, but I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. You got too many former Spurs over there. I can't see another one going up to Brooklyn. I really think that Jakob is the ideal perfect piece next to somebody like Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson, or if we were to find another lead point guard in the pick and roll. Chris, stop laughing. I hate this.
Nasty.
Listen. This is actually from. I promise you, this is what the Spurs are considering. When you look at Jakob Poeltl being the centerpiece for a team, 26, 27 minutes, Victor Wembanyama, throw him at the 4, solid. Now, with Jakob Poeltl, at the same time, if you don't want to pay him 16, 17 million, which is a pretty good stamp, if you don't have a foundation of, okay, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, who's staying, who's going, Trey Jones, you might as well let him walk and try and draft another centerpiece. But here's the thing: if you don't get 2 first-round picks, I don't think he's getting moved. We'll see what type of maybe sign the trade in the deadline. Say it again.
This year.
Yeah.
You don't think he's going to be moved by the deadline?
I don't think so. In all honesty, we've only won 2 games with him out the lineup, and those against the Rockets. So, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I kind of second that because if you read the tea leaves, Pop is 100% on this rebuild.
Like, and I just can't see him being.
I don't see Wembanyama going there though. Like, we'll see where he ends up. But the Spurs, I don't know about that.
We didn't win all of November, Malik, and you're gonna say that all of November we didn't win. And you're gonna
y'all trying.
That's okay.
I mean, the Hornets.
The only center.
The Hornets.
The only center, and I'm not trying to stir the pot here. The only center that I could actually see moved that would make sense for Jakob Poeltl is Christian Koloko. Just so we have like a young. I know.
I agree.
Thank you.
Jakob's name was attached to the Raptors, and I thought that maybe, that would be great for him to come back to the Raptors. Him and Pascal have great chemistry, and it's just like what to give up, to get him. And I don't know if the Raptors want to give up, if any, first round draft picks, but I mean, we'll give up maybe one, and I don't know, maybe you guys could take Kem Birch or something and Malachi Flynn.
Well, it real quick. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time here. Go ahead and give yourself 30 seconds, Santa Rosa. Then we'll give Evan 30 seconds. We'll get everybody's last take as we get ready for the 50, 40, 90 trivia. Go ahead, Santa Rosa.
No, that was everything.
Okay. Evan, 30 seconds. Go ahead and wrap it up, and then we'll get everybody's last thoughts.
30 seconds. I guess to however many people in this space, you have to know that the San Antonio Spurs are trying to be the worst team in the league. Keyword trying to be. But at the same time, there are assets on this team that could be moved. They would have to showcase. They would have to put on a full display. We have to give 30 minutes. Romeo Langford, that's not going to cost a first-round pick, just a second-round pick. Isaiah Roby, just a second-round pick. Josh Richardson, you're going to need a first. Doug McDermott, might need a first. Might need to tag him on with somebody else just to make the money work. Just saying. So when you play us, just know we're going to play hard. You may lose. You may lose. I know when I say we haven't lost all November, we haven't won all November. We're beating teams that don't expect us to come out and compete.
Nasty behavior.
So I know, but that's all I got. Appreciate you.
Nasty behavior. We'll go next to Micah. Micah, 30 seconds.
Yeah. So this is my final closing thought. Hey, Sean, you know what I think would be hilarious is if y'all end up in the 6th seed and face off against Cleveland, and Jalen gives Mitchell 40 again. But that's
You're gonna have a whole bunch of Dallas Knicks fans this playoffs.
Hey man, hey, they are. Hey, let's keep it a buck. If you put Tom Thibodeau, Jason Kidd, James Dolan, and Mark Cuban in the same room, ultimate Spider-Man meme.
All right, appreciate it, Micah. We got to keep it moving. Darius, 30 seconds, go.
Yeah, I really don't have nothing else to say, but the fact that I need my credit for what you just posted today about the whole Knicks playing thing. So rub me my money. That's all I gotta say.
Like fishing for credit ain't gonna really net you anything, man.
Okay.
These are Knicks fans. They just gonna laugh at you.
One more take. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The Raptors are gonna go on a 5-game winning streak starting today, and I'll put money on that.
All right, there you go. There you go. All right, appreciate it. Next up, we'll go to Jasmine. Jasmine, final thoughts.
I'm a Boston Celtics fan, so I'm good. Everybody else eat.
Yep. Dropping mics. That's what's up. I will say this though, like Boston has a couple of issues. I hope that they get to work it out. One of them is Jaylen Brown's traveling. Like it is absolutely insane that he gets away with the amount of travels that he does. And like he's called so many times for it. And he's still pitter pat, man. Like the feet are they never lie. John, 30 seconds, go.
All right, good set of games later. I know we faced the Hornets. Also, the Kings insider Chris will be facing off against the Lakers today. I just want to let you know because we need to say that Chris is still our Kings insider. And also good today. Magic Rockets. I mean, Banchero versus Jalen Green, Banchero versus Jalen Smith, or Jabari Smith rather. And that's some of the flavor of the month today. And also Hawks Bulls. The loser gets to be slandered more after the game. Thank you.
Well, that's a mid-off right there, Hawks Bulls.
You just like the mood in New York is so good, ladies and gentlemen. The vibes are immaculate. And Bonkai is also exuding those vibes as the Knicks are winners of 8 straight. The only other team to have a claim as a hot team at the top of the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets, 9-1, face Golden State today on NBA TV. That's going to be something. Bonkai, 30 seconds, go.
Yeah, the Jazz, man. The Celtics don't have any issues unless they play the Orlando Magic. I saw the one-handed free throw by Jeremy Sohan, and I got to say, man, at this point, why don't you just shoot underhand? It doesn't matter if it's pretty or not. If it goes in, it goes in. Just try it at this point. And please do not underestimate the Toronto Raptors tonight. Knicks fans, the players, stay focused. Come out with good intensity to start the game, and don't underestimate it because I hate playing against Nick Nurse and all his little schemes and defensive lineups and boxing ones and 2-3 zones, 3-2 zones, and all that little stuff that he comes up with. So, yeah, be careful. Don't fall for the trap. Let's go Knicks.
I can't hear anyone.
Okay, I thought it was just me. I can't hear anything either.
Chris, you there?
Well, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I mean, my mic was flashing and said was working. I was just saying Malik Walker hosted a Rewind Pod, has a dope show coming up about the Boston Celtics and the Larry Bird era.
Yes. Tomorrow night we'll be discussing Larry Bird, and looking forward to that. The Larry Bird era with Kevin McHale. Looking forward to that, and definitely stop through and show Larry Bird some love. Next Thursday we'll be discussing JUCO and Last Chance U. Looking forward to that because I thought it's interesting how many players that played in NBA or and in the Hall of Fame came from JUCO. So next week would be that conversation. Sometime in January, me and Sean are going to talk about the Kristaps Porzingis trade and how it impacted both the Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks. That's coming in January. So looking forward to those spaces. And real quick, that statement from Joel Embiid I put in the Jumbotron, to say that before a game, interesting. So that game tonight is going to be I'm going to be going back and forth with that game, to be honest. That quote is interesting. And that's it.
I don't think it's interesting. I think it's Joel being Joel. Like, he sees them down, right? And he's just rubbing their face in it. Like, that's all this is. Like, never underestimate the power of a troll. Like, that's words to live by for Joel. Sean, final thoughts.
As I said, I told Cedric yesterday I had concerns about the Raptors game because Vision 69 actually works against a guy like Brunson. What guys, a bunch of switchable guys when it comes to length that have length. DeAndre Ayton will be perfect for Toronto. So that would be the OG trade. Although like Zach Lowe said, like the entire league wants OG, so that's going to be a freaking like. The funny thing is, the OG might get as much in a trade as Donovan Mitchell got, which is crazy, but everyone wants him because he's a damn good player. I mean, that's basically it. This is fun, man. Listen. My team has been mid, for the last 20 years. I enjoy these win streaks, and you should enjoy them too. Like it's the league is more fun when the Knicks are competitive, man. Like, you don't want bad teams in big markets. You don't like even the Lakers. I don't like the league isn't fun when the Lakers stink. And I enjoy making fun of the Lakers as much as anyone. But the league is better when these teams are good. When you have New York and LA and even Chicago and what have you. So and that's that. And yeah, so good luck to hopefully the Knicks win tonight. It won't surprise you if they lose. So tomorrow's Hoop Spaces will be rollicking either way.
You're right, because nobody ever says, man, I really want the Charlotte Hornets to win a championship.
Nope.
True words, very rarely spoken. Let me go ahead and hit this button one last time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are brought to you by our sponsor, Slam Goods. Head over to slamgoods.com. Check out what they have to offer you, the basketball fan, as well as any basketball fan in your life. May I suggest that you go and get the digital subscription under $20, and you get phenomenal award-winning writing that covers the game and the players outside of the basketball court, outside the 94 by 50. Down below, we have World Cup Dime coming in here. Make sure you shoot him a follow. Locked On Clips host. Soon to have me, hopefully, up there talking why Robert Covington will be traded and the pieces that will come back with the Robert Covington-Luke Kennard trade to help put the Clippers over the edge and put them in the top 6 permanently. We got Bibbs Corner in the building, one half of the Mavs Outsider Pod. Make sure you check out the best Outsider Pod covering the Mavericks. And then you have 77 Spaces with Rolo. We have Jose and Jazz. They are also in here. Jeff J. Says is in the building. You can check him over on Madison Square Garden Network hosting BetX. Power After Hours. If you're into pop culture, definitely a dude to follow. Rels Pels, the Pels and Whistles Pod from the Believe Network is in the building. Shout out to her. Evan Moore is here. Raptors Live TV. Our man Fahim for the win. Our lady Nelly J. In the building, always hosting the post-game spaces to get those Raptors convos live. And Sean, you might be there tonight. Who knows? It's going to be interesting. All right. Appreciate the person who came up on stage. This is Hoop Spaces Ryan. does a lot of stuff on the back end to allow me to just focus on making content. One of the things we'll be working on is getting the merchandise store, integrated to the website. The website will go into a different type of redesign, more streamlined for the show and other content creators who are going to be coming on board. But he also does trivia, and that's why we have trivia. We just haven't really been able to set it up because, to be honest, like, it's hard to carve out time for NBA trivia when you guys want to watch the game. So, to that effect, we are here on the back end of the show with the trivia idea that he came up with just this morning. I have no idea what the hell this is, and I'm worried. I'm not going to lie that I'm going to embarrass myself. Ryan, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Today we're going to play a game called the 50-40-90 game. And I plan to embarrass you a little bit. Before we get to that game, though, a quick little Hoop Spaces cardio ranking update, because it's been a little bit since we've updated that. One of your boys on your team has been climbing the rankings, and I was looking at these rankings, and most of the guys in the top 25 of cardio rankings play about 15 to 20 minutes a game. One of the guys in the top 25 of cardio rankings is playing 29 minutes a game. You want to guess who that is?
Would that be PJ Tucker?
That would be PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker
plays the most minutes in the top 25 of the Hoop Spaces cardio rankings by far. The other update of the cardio rankings I want to make is the person that everyone asked me about. How is he not at the top? Mr. Reggie Bullock is now all the way up to 29, climbing rapidly. So update for those of you who want to see that name climb higher and higher. It is climbing higher and higher. Now on to the game that I promised, the 50-40-90 game. Most of us know, I'm guessing the vast majority of us know, that a 50-40-90 is a field goal percentage of 50%, a 3-point percentage of 40%, and a free throw percentage of 90%. Well, that's not super common, but getting close to that is more common. I'm currently looking at a list of 29 players who are relatively close to getting a 50-40-90 at this point. And when I say relatively close, they are within 5 percentage points of each of those statistical categories. So 45, 35, 85, or better at this point. Does that make sense to you, Chris?
It does.
All right. So, Chris, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go team by team. And if that team has a player on it or multiple players, I will say a team name, and I'm going to give you a chance to guess the player or players. So I'll tell you the team name and the number of players.
That's good.
And you try and tell me who you think is in the range of a 50-40-90. And we'll go alphabetically. You ready?
Yeah. This is going to be tough.
All right. Number 1, Atlanta.
No.
All right. AJ Griffin. Number 2, Brooklyn. They have one.
KD.
That is KD. Next, Boston. They have 2.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Yes.
And Jason Tatum.
Yes. Shout out Jason Tatum for taking 21 attempts and still being on the list. Next, Chicago. 2 players.
Patrick Williams.
Yes.
And Ayo Dosunmu.
Nope. It's Vooch. He needs to be more appreciated. Next, Cleveland. 1 player.
I mean, I want to say Donovan, but I just think the volume.
Donovan. You should say Donovan.
Okay, Donovan.
Right. Next, Detroit.
What?
Detroit
Isaiah Stewart.
Nope. Who's the obvious answer on Detroit? Who scores all their points?
Bojan Bogdanovic.
That would be correct. Next, and this one's going to surprise a lot of people. Golden State. 2 names, and you said one of the not obvious names a minute ago.
For Golden State,
we know it ain't James Wiseman.
What? I mean,
say the obvious one.
Curry.
Obviously, yes.
Andrew Wiggins.
Nope. Ty Jerome.
All
right, next. Indiana, 2 names.
Tyrese Halliburton.
That's 1.
And Benedict Mathurin.
Nembhard.
Nembhard.
All right. The Clippers, one name.
Ew.
Come on, Chris. You know who it is, Chris. Come on.
I mean, I would have to say Kawhi.
No, Dime.
No?
Luke Kennard.
Luke? Yeah.
Luke Kennard leading the league in three-point shooting on this list. All right, Lakers, two names. This will surprise you.
Geez, the Lakers. I mean, I got to go Austin Reeves.
Yes, and probably only because I've tweeted about it. Well, who else do you think?
Troy Brown Jr.
Lonnie Walker.
Austin Reeves.
Lonnie
shooting
Walker.
40% from three.
Yeah.
All these
Memphis,
players are 50,
one
40,
name.
90.
Desmond Bain.
Conchar.
Conchar.
Miami, one name.
Get the hell out of here. Ain't nobody 50, 40, 90 in Miami.
These are not 50, 40, 90.
No, I'm just saying that. Like, I would have to say, it would have been Strus, but like he's hit a slump. So, Gabe Vincent,
Tyler Hero.
Okay.
Milwaukee, two names.
Jeez, this is hard. Bobby Portis and
Nope.
Brook Lopez.
Neither. Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen.
Wait, what is the criteria again if it's not 50, 40, 90?
They're close within 5, I think he said.
Within
Okay,
5 points of a 50, 40, 90.
Okay.
Minnesota, two players.
Jeez. Powell?
Nope.
No, not Powell. I thought he was up there. And then 50, 40, 90, Cat.
Tarian Prince, Austin Rivers.
Come on.
All of these have played at least half of the games and are playing more than 15 minutes, to be
Austin
honest.
Rivers is cheating.
I agree, Sean. Austin
New Orleans
Rivers.
Pelicans, one name.
Trey Murphy III.
Nailed it. The Knicks, one name.
Brunson.
Nailed it. Philly, two names.
Harden and Embiid.
Embiid is correct, but it's Tobias Harris.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
All right. Last two teams. Phoenix, three names.
Shoot. Booker.
Yes. And special shout out Booker for taking the most shots on this list at 21 shots per game.
Damn, that's a lot. Within 5 points. Damian Lee.
Yes. 2 for 2. One more.
And Cam Johnson.
No, but you might get to interview the guy that's on this list.
Mikal Bridges.
Yes, sir. All right. Last but not least, Portland, one name.
Oh, geez. Dame.
Exactly. You got it. 29 names, all within 5 percentage points of a 50, 40, 90.
How many I get wrong?
Most of them.
No, I got more than half right, man.
No, yeah, I didn't keep exact track because I was trying to go fast, but I'd say you got about half or so.
Oh, gosh, that was hard.
Not bad, though. Good job.
Thank you. Luke Kennard, I should have known. Like, it was I was like, it's Luke Kennard, but then I was like, he can't make a layup. Like, that's all I could think of. So I was like,
He makes
yeah.
layups. He just doesn't get to the rim that
Okay.
much.
Yeah. Well, I you call that a layup. I call that like dropping a lunch pail. I mean, there's effort that's missing. Anyway, you hear Dime, ladies and gentlemen, host of the Locked On Clippers. But first, we want to give Ryan here a round of applause. That was actually fun, and I don't feel as though I embarrassed myself. Ryan, you have a mug, right? Like literally, I did the black mug, and then I remembered I got to get Ryan's mug out here. So like the one white mug with the orange, that's for Hoop Spaces, Ryan. Make sure when you go over to the Hoop Spaces merch store on Shopify and you see that, when you buy that mug, you will instantly become smarter. You'll hold it in your hand and you will be able to dive into the statistical dark web of NBA, just like Hoop Spaces Ryan does every day. Ryan, what do you have to say?
I just want to make it known, because when Chris and I were talking about this last night and we were looking at the new website, that those are stock images. The nerdy looking white dude wearing the hoodie, that isn't me. I am a nerdy looking white dude, but that isn't me on the website. So I look way nerdier and way whiter and way paler than that guy. So, but yeah, please enjoy the stuff on the website. Thank you, Chris, for throwing up the version that matches my logo. Appreciate it. Everybody enjoy all the merch there. Really happy that Chris was able to finally get that up, and we'll get it on hoopspaces.com soon.
All right, there you go. Dime, it's been a minute. You've been around the world, and with the World Cup. You're back here. You're locked in with the Clippers, covering them every day on Locked On Clips. What do you have to tell the good people below?
Thanks again, Chris. It's good to be back. My Locked On Clippers is still the same, 5 days a week on all your podcasting platforms and YouTube. So check it out. And then my own channel, resuming basketball content this week. I'm going to the first NBA game that I've been to in a month tonight against the Hornets. So I'm going to have a vlog on my channel after, probably in the next couple of days, probably tomorrow actually. And when that starts, I'd say by the end of the week, World Cup coverage will have concluded on my channel and back to basketball. So Lakers and Clippers, almost every single game, post game. And then obviously when playoff time comes, talking about every team. But I also want to, have people like yourself and various content creators on from other teams to talk about their team, because I haven't really been watching the last month. So if you're a content creator and a fan of a specific team, like I see Rel's down there, I see Bibbs down there, would love to collab with you guys as well and just hear about how your team's doing. So that's all I got for now.
All right, yeah, there you go. It's real simple. If you are a basketball fan, you literally are a basketball creator in your own world. You just don't have the belief yet. And we're here to tell you you can do it if you want to. We're also here to tell you, hey, there can be a home for you if you're able to do some simple things. If you are interested, shout out to Justin Patton. Make sure you reach out to him. He'll help you get hooked up with getting these reaction videos that you can get to a growing number of eyes. And that's really what it's about. News and notes real quick as we get ready to head out here. The Substack will be up after the holidays. The review is getting shut down, and already support has kind of cratered. There was a couple of issues that I had, and they weren't going to be able to solve them, and it would have made the following newsletters not look the same or read the same. And at that point, I said, okay, thank you for everything. I will learn Substack now. So that'll be coming after the holidays. Also, Playback TV, we will definitely be getting back into that. We just unfortunately had my son's practice time at swimming change. It is no longer 7 to 8. It is now 7:30 to 8:15, and that really puts a crunch on it. And we don't get in until right before 9. So we'll get that fixed one way or the other, as we really want to work with Playback TV. We think that that's another way that we're going to move forward in terms of consuming basketball. And if you are on the show and you come up to the stage and speak, it's no different than coming up on the stage on Playback, except that we have the game in the background. So make sure you check out for that. And I'm gonna say now, I am not going to be selected for the NBA Launchpad. I've accepted that. I've gotten the email this morning telling me pretty much as such. They are going to look out possibly for future collaborative projects. So that's really cool. But I still think we have something major coming next year around the end of the first week of the month, maybe with Amazon. So look out for that. Because if that happens, then we're definitely moving in the right direction. And I can't do that without the likes of you. So anytime that you've ever engaged with me here on the show, anytime you've listened or anytime you've hopped on Twitter to tell me how crazy I am with these food takes and telling you the truth about pancakes, know that you've helped. And I'm sincerely grateful. And as we head into the holiday season, make sure that you take some time to big up yourself, right? That's really what this is about. Big up yourself. Sean, he needs to big up himself, from talking on Clubhouse to now hosting for Knicks Film School. World Cup Dime needs to big up himself, from a little YouTube channel to a host of Locked On Clips. Bibbs Corner with Mavs Outsiders, Malika Walker with the Rewind Pod, Rels Pels with the Pels and Whistles Pod. Like, it is here with Raptors Live TV. And if you are down there and you want to follow their footsteps, like, we've done it. And like, none of us are going to say no if you have a question. All right, that's it for us. I'm going to hit this. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, great basketball tonight. Like, no lie, full slate of games. Starting off at 7 o'clock, Milwaukee at Cleveland. That is top 4 in the East. And I honestly think what we're going to see is a fantastic 7-game series in the second round between the likes of possibly Milwaukee and Cleveland. Philly hosts Detroit, Atlanta hosts Chicago, Boston and Indiana, 7:30, 7:30. But the next game that we're really going to watch, we all know it's the Brooklyn Nets and Golden State Warriors because, hey, who doesn't like a train wreck, right? 7:30 on NBA TV. Knicks and Raptors. Like, make sure you tune in to Raptors TV Live after the game here on Spaces. Orlando will be at Houston at 8. Dallas and Minnesota at 8. Portland and Oklahoma City at 8. Los Angeles and Sacramento, the Lakers and the Kings at 10 o'clock in SAC. And we close out in L.A. as the Charlotte Hornets look to upset the L.A. Clippers. All right. Appreciate y'all. See you tomorrow.
Shout out to you, Chris. You deserve your flowers as well because none of this is possible without you. None of this is possible without you. You had the vision from Clubhouse. You knew to get over to Twitter Spaces. You had an idea. Shout out to you. Shout out to Ryan. And everybody. But listen, man, you deserve your flowers too because you be busting your ass out here. You're out here every single day on this app talking about the Knicks, talking about the NBA. Freudian slip, talking about the NBA for 2 to 3 hours every single day. And man, you're committed. The Launchpad program is what they're launching. They should have you in it. We're gonna get you in there, man. Shout out to you though, bro. For real.
Appreciate it. Make sure you go buy a hoodie, everybody. $45. Like, there you go. Support the cause. Be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. And to all of you people who hate on the Knicks, this is for you. Stay sucker free.